Yes, people. Welcome to the first ever edition of the Man United podcast meets the Ballers at the Bridge podcast meets Talking that Tottenham Talk podcast brought to you by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm joined by a regular co-host of the channel, Peter, holding it down for the Ballers at the Bridge podcast, and Jez holding it down for Talking that Tottenham Talk podcast. We'll go to you first and foremost, Peter. What are you telling me? You good?
Oh yeah, man, I'm good. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, man. Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Jez, my brother, what are you saying? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just coming off, just chilling after watching that 1-0 Woodford. Shout out to them.
Oh, did Watford win 1-0? All right, shout out to
Yeah.
Watford. Then. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Watford as well. Big up Timo. This is just a disgraceful comment. And not because he says run up the likes, people. It's because of what transpired just before we went live, which we're not going to discuss. We'll probably discuss it at Q&A or at a basketball stream at a later date. But it was just despicable behavior. But make sure whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back, get the likes up on the video, people. Share it across all the socials and subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV, road to 5K subscribers. Hit the notification bell. And this is a crossover, people. Crossover of free podcasts. So myself, Peter, and Jez will be talking all things Manchester United, Chelsea, and Spurs. So you lot make sure you keep your questions and all your comments Manchester United, Chelsea, or Spurs related. But you don't have to go to the person of that team. So you can ask Peter a Spurs question, you can ask me a Chelsea question, you can ask Jez a question about Manchester United, people. And this will be fortnightly Monday nights as well. So you'll get it every other Monday. And in between that, you'll get the Gunner Talk from the Arsenal meets Man United with myself and Cam as well. Big up Uncle Jesters in the comments as well. Says F's in the chat for T. All right, you wilding with that. FT says, yo, big up to FT. Well, let's start with Chelsea anyway, because that's the news that broke today. I'm going to go to you on it first, Peter. Cucurella to Chelsea. Talk to us.
Yeah, apparently this is happening. Shit, I was on my way to work when I saw this. I don't know. I've been out most of the day. I mean, they have a price. He wants to leave. He wants to play at like a higher level than Brighton, which like fair enough to him. The only thing is, it's going to cost money because he's got 4 years left on his existing deal. Well, we're not cash poor. Like we can afford it. So if Tuchel wants that, yeah, I'll take it. If that gets players like Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso out the door to go to Barcelona, then hey, man, I'm not going to turn it down. You know?
Oh, no, I hear that. Because it kind of just went... Because it seemed that he was linked with Manchester City and that's where he was going. And then the deal fell through. And then next thing you see is Chelsea are interested in him. And what's going on at Barcelona? Also interested in Cucurella as well.
No, all of those were just from fake accounts because, you know, like what's been happening this summer. So people like, you know, you just tag Gerard Romero in it and like make it look all official and then everybody will believe it.
Yeah, because it didn't make no sense to me because I was like, I swear they're trying to sign Marcos Alonso. So why would they also be trying to sign Cucurella? Surely if you want Marcos Alonso, you want Chelsea to sign Cucurella and then that frees them up to sell.
Yeah, they're apparently trying to sign Bernardo Silva, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're trying to sign that. Yeah.
I don't know whose second-born kid they're going to have to sell to be able to fund that, but it is what it is, man.
This guy, you're a fool, you know. I swear that is why I wanted to do this shit.
Bro, they might as well just start auctioning off family members.
Yo, it's wild. It's wild.
Hey, shout out to them, though. Shout out to them.
That's still crooks, man. Absolute crooks. That's what they are. Absolute crooks. It's crazy.
Yeah, people don't care. They got to get reelected, so.
Yeah, how they just continue to buy players with no money. How?
You sell your future earning potential, man. Who needs revenue in 2026?
Yeah. How are you doing this?
I don't know.
It's like, and they're doing it barefaced. It's not even like they're going quietly about it and they're trying to sign low players or it's like low profile players. You know what I'm saying? And they legit jacking Chelsea's transfer targets. They're going in for Lewandowski. Your Rafinha's like these are high profile marquee signings that they're trying to make. And they hear Cucurella as well. Like these are well known. It's crazy. It's crazy. What are you saying about it, Jez? Cucurella to Chelsea. What's your thoughts from the outside looking in?
I think it's a good signing. Like him as a player, scheme statistic wise, looking at his speed at this level he operates, it kind of makes sense where he can go. Obviously, saw the rumor that he could maybe sometimes go and play at like a left side centre, which kind of makes sense. in the sense of like depends who you play against. Obviously, when you play against a team that holds most of the time possession, maybe not. But Chelsea is a team that usually holds possession most of the time pretty well. So like when you have him playing like as like a right centre back, come forward with the left winger,
Hmm.
it kind of makes sense considering as well that Chilwell only just came back this year and hasn't been playing a lot of minutes. It kind of makes sense why they maybe just be looking at Cucurella. I think it was just pretty random that it just came out like that. And hopefully they were just working on it on the background because it just was the worry that maybe someone comes into hijack that. Man City obviously said they don't want to pay more than 40. So it's like, it's an open race pretty much now. And obviously, deal looks to be getting done soon. So yeah, it's more about just, it's probably more about just when rather than if, to be honest. So yeah, really good sign for Chelsea now. Obviously, they still need to, they want to chase into what's in that. But just a little bit random considering I seen him only get moved to like right wing backs to be honest, instead of like left. But they automatically just splash 50 mil like a left wing back.
Yeah, facts. I'm saying, and this goes out to everyone because I had this. This was this a few weeks ago? I think it was 2-3 weeks ago when I was doing a Mandem United, and people was praising Manchester City's business. So yeah, this was around the time they had just signed, just before they had signed Calvin Phillips. People will talk about their business and how we need to maneuver like them. And I've stated this before. I stated transfers ain't as easy as people make out. I don't know if it's too much FIFA. I don't know if it's because of Football Manager that people just automatically presume that deals get done. You make a bid on Monday and then Tuesday you've signed a player. And people were praising that. Look at what Manchester City have done. They locked down Cucurella and Calvin Phillips. Looks like they didn't lock down Cucurella. And if that was united with De Jong or say Malacia because we signed a fullback, our fan base would be up in arms. All I'm saying is not everything as it seems. That's legit it. But you know how people stay and how fan bases love to complain. Obviously, you know that Peter being a Chelsea fan, because I've seen your fan base being up in absolute meltdown from your transfer targets, preseason friendlies, and the love for Cobham as well. The love for Cobham has been great. Like the love from I've seen from Chelsea fans on social media is much bigger than the love I see now from United fans about Carrington. Like I think it's surpassed it. Like I'm seeing people say don't sign Cucurella, we've got Colwell. Like what's your thoughts on that?
I don't understand why our fans are so allergic to getting good players into their football club. And I don't understand why people just assume the worst in terms of the youth players. Like it's entirely possible that we pay like 50 million pounds for Cucurella and Colwell goes on loan and then comes back in a year because remember 2-year loans are no longer allowed. And as Thiago Silva leaves Chelsea, Colwell goes into the squad. Something like that is very possible. Everybody's just assuming he's going to be a make weight and we're going to sell him permanently or something like that. I'm like, guys, even if we did, we are lacking defensive players that are reliable. Chilwell just ripped his ACL in November. Okay, it's August. We would be one Chilwell injury away from playing Pulisic at left wing back if
Jesus.
we needed to. Basically, if Alonso and Azpilicueta are trying to leave.
Hmm.
So, like, we need depth in those positions. Cucurella can play as a center back. That works as well. And we have another left-sided center back option. Like, I don't understand why people are so intent on making this a bad thing. I don't know why people can't just enjoy shit.
Because
I
people
just
want to be
don't get it.
miserable. That's why people want to be miserable in that. That's exactly what it is. Because I don't understand it either. Surely Cucurella is a good signing for Chelsea. So why would you be opposed to it? Why are you opposed to, like you said, good players going into your team, whether that's improving your first team or your squad? You know what I'm saying, or
Yeah,
both.
I would have thought us getting good players was a good thing. But
It's
I don't know.
people.
I guess not.
It's wild. Big up, Uncle Justice says, I don't know about Manchester, but we are over here going cuckoo. All right, good one, Justice. I see you. That's a proper uncle joke. That large up Sasha every time. She says, new logo, new show. I'm here for the newness. Big up the panel. Love to see you as always, Sasha. Yeah, man. New logo, new show, man. We had to freshen up for the new season. I was like, it's only right. And then the new show as well. I was like, it's only right as well. I did say more content. So that's what's going to be happening on Sarcasm City TV alongside all the regular shows. Big up Malcolm as well. Big up that says big up the man them. C1 says big up the panel. Bar the top right guy, and he said joking. He also goes on to say Tuchel wants to overpay for Fofana, but not Rice. These Rice, meat riders in the mud. I love it, man. Wow. So C1 saying a lot. We'll go to you on that. Actually, go on, Jez.
No, that's just a thought. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no lie, that's crazy. That C1 saying. But what's your thoughts on them being linked with Fafana?
Talking to me or to Peter?
Yeah, talking to you, Jez. Yeah, you,
Okay,
Jez.
yeah. I mean, it makes
Seen that
sense.
comment.
No, because it's Chelsea.
Sorry, I just seen a comment from Surfer, but go on, carry on. It caught me off
Nah,
guard. Go on, carry on, Jez.
because for me, it's like it makes sense. Obviously, they need a centre back. Obviously, it's a bit confusing if they just want the left side centre back and move Koulibaly to the right. Koulibaly plays with the left, and then they want the right centre back. It's kind of confusing, but it's just the price we could earn before Farmer, which is, I think, obviously at this moment, I do think that Chelsea would be willing to say fuck it, but at the same time, for me, making Fofana like pretty much nearly the most expensive centre back in the world.
Yeah.
I think they would make it, but I don't know if this was the right idea, especially when you see the report saying that Colville could be used in a deal for Cucurella, considering that Leicester actually had interest for Colville in case a Fofana maybe easy that, where like let's say Colville gets used for the Cucurella deal, who you actually put in the deal to kind of lessen the fee, or are you actually just going to pay most of the money? Like, are they going to ask the type? Because they're definitely going to ask the same type of money that they ask for the choir. So it's like, is Chelsea willing to pay the money? I'm not too sure. But obviously, in terms of the player, it kind of makes sense. A left-footed young centre back that's rated very highly, and you could say, arguably, probably in his age bracket, he's probably one of the top 5 centre backs.
Yeah, I think it's just an injury thing. I think that's the only thing that people
He
are
was just coming
doubting.
back, yeah. Just
Yeah, I
coming
think
back
it's
from it.
legit that, and obviously the price market as well. But what I don't understand is, I know Chelsea fans want Chelsea to sign other players, and they do need to because minus Sterling, we know their attack is dreadful. But you still need players in other positions. So you still need a Cucurella, you still need a left wing back, you still need a backup right wing back to Reece James. People are saying, why is he looking to sign defenders? Because he plays 3 at the back. So you need that. You need a minimum. You need a minimum
We're
of
gonna
5.
lose we're gonna lose 4, maybe 5 defenders in this window. What do you mean? Why are we looking to sign defenders?
I don't this is upset.
Malangsar might go to Fulham. The Spanish fullbacks are going to go to Barca. Christensen went to Barca, and Rudiger went to Madrid. That's 5 players.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think about them, they're players who all played significant minutes last season. Like, what do you mean? Why sign defenders? We can't just run academy kids out there for the whole season.
That's what people want. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's not going to fucking happen. This guy wants to
That's
keep his job.
It's crazy. I think you were right when you said you don't know if people want Tuchel to keep his job. I think you're onto
I don't
something.
think they really do. I don't think they do. They want to win how our fans want to win, how they want to win. They want all this fucking storyteller bullshit. They want all this like, oh, romanticized idea of like how. Look, let's be real, right? If we didn't get in trouble for basically tapping up a bunch of 15-year-olds and paying their families under the table and getting a transfer ban, a lot of these players, like Tomori, Tammy, all these players, I don't know if they make it at Chelsea. I don't know if they ever really get brought through. Frank Lampard never would have coached us. Like, our trajectory would have been completely different.
Fair.
People have confused the summer of 2019 as they think it's some sort of new reality when, like, hey guys, it's not. The academy serves to bolster the squad. If we have better squad players we can take out of the academy than people we can attain within reason, then yeah, by all means, use the academy. But we already have plenty of academy kids in the squad. Like, we already have Ampadu, we already have Loftus-Cheek, we already have Hudson-Odoi, we already have Mason Mount, we already have Reece James, we already have Chalobah, we already have Gallagher, we already have Broya. That's like 8-9 names on a realistic group out of like 26, right? Like, a third of our team is already academy kids. How many more do we want? Am I going to cry if we lose a Colwell to get Wesley Fofana? Fuck no. I'm not going to cry. There'll be another Colwell. Will I miss him a little bit? Yeah. But when I watch Wesley Fofana for the next 10 years, I'm not going to give a shit. Why are we so intent to cry about it? If they want him, if that lowers the price where we can then afford to get like Cucurella and him, then hey guys, that's what we got to do. I don't know what to tell you. Then we can let Azpilicueta and Alonso go, and then we don't have to complain about them anymore.
Yeah, because that's one thing is your fan base does complain about Azpilicueta and Alonso.
They complain about the players we have.
Yeah,
they don't want to make moves to get the players we have out the door. or they don't want to bring in new players to replace the players that are already here that are underachieving. They complain about not having challenge for a league for 5 years, and they complain about the level of our players, but then people are weirdly hesitant to get rid of players or find solutions to get rid of them. People are like, oh, I don't want, like, people are saying, I don't want Angelino. Like, if we had to swap Werner for Angelino, I'm like, why do you guys insist on sticking with Werner? That's basically what you're saying. Like, people were complaining about Kepa just being here, and now we shouldn't pay 3/4 of his wages for him to go play in Naples. I'm like, do you guys want him to leave or not?
Yeah. But it's similar to what you said though about fans wanting you to win how they want you to win. They also want you to sell players how you want them to sell players. So you want to sell this player, but not it has to be at this price. Or if it's a loan, we have to be paying only this amount of his wages. Yeah.
The thing I don't get with that is we all acknowledge these players are terrible. Why are we then going to get fair prices for them? The issue is in the recruitment. From the recruitment stems further issues. Like, stop this whole sunken cost fallacy with Werner or with Kepa. They're of no use to us. Stop this. Like, just we need them to leave. Like, I don't understand. And I mean, you guys can joke about Batshuayi. Like, at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. Weirdly enough, I think Batshuayi is the only player in our squad, if Azpilicueta and Alonso leave, outside of N'Golo Kante, that's won us a Premier League title.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I don't think that counts. But yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, our fans, we just like to complain. Like, we will take any bit of good news or positive transfer news and we'll make it a negative because that's what we do. Like, deep down, a lot of these people want us to struggle for the first few games. Like, people are complaining about, like, Couture did it. He's my guy, but he's like, oh, I don't want us to panic buy when you brought up the idea of selling Werner. I'm like, I promise you, panic buying is better than keeping Werner.
Absolutely. Panic buying is
I promise you. Like,
I agree with that.
If it works, then it works. If it doesn't, but he's still better than Werner, then it still works relative to keeping Werner. I'm like, we're going to have to do something. And like, look, Cucurella wanted to go to City. City don't want to match that price. They don't have to if they don't want to. I think they're dumb for letting go of their backup left back before having this sorted out.
True.
That's why you see Chelsea holding on to some of these players. It's very risky to just let your like squad depth go in like the Spanish players, right? And not have people through the door. So people want to bitch about outgoings while simultaneously craving incomings, but then like they don't want these players to come in. It's like, guys, no one's gonna sign all of your favorite players. Would I really like give a fuck if we didn't sign Cucurella? Not really. He's a good player. I'll take him. Fills a couple.
Don't you want wing back depth though?
Yeah, but like I think in my ideal scenario, we could find somebody to cover for wing back on both sides.
Right.
That would
so
be
you
like
don't want a left wing back and a right wing back. You're happy with just one.
Somebody who can play on both sides to a decent level.
Okay.
Because if we're being like realistic, Chilwell and Reece are going to start as long as they're fit.
Yeah.
Reece's issue, that being said, is fitness, right? But am I going to turn down somebody like Cucurella? No. We need a center back, so am I going to turn down Fofana? Fuck no. You know, it's like I just these are not my ideal solutions.
Right.
But like, hey, they what make us better. So I don't understand what people realistically want to see. Factor in, we couldn't extend contracts. We couldn't do any sort of actual planning for the summer because of the ownership change.
Thanks.
And I don't know what people are expecting to see in this summer. People like, oh, there's no long-term plan. There's no method. I'm like, did you guys just skip the Matt Law article from a few weeks ago where like he was briefing saying the club are looking at appointing a director of football before the World Cup? Like, did we just skip over that?
People didn't know.
People just assume Todd Bowley's going to be flying around Europe for the next 10 years trying to get players by himself. That's not how this is going to go. I don't know what people are getting so upset about. Like, we're trying to get players for our team. Sorry that your fucking Cobham favorites may not be in the squad. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry.
Are you really sorry?
No, we already have like 10. We already have like 10. How many? I am like, you know what? Black Diamond, that's a good point. Let's really look
But-
at the window where we spent all that money.
All right, get into it. Go on then. This is
Werner
your time.
going to Leipzig. Ziyech going on loan to Milan. Thiago Silva, club signing. Frank Lampard wanted Tarkowski. James Tarkowski just got relegated and just signed for Everton. Frank Lampard wanted Lewis Dunk. Shout out to Lewis Dunk, but no. The club went and got Edouard Mendy. That was not a Lampard thing. Lampard signed Chilwell. If I signed a left back for £50 million 2 years ago, why am I also 2 years later signing another £50 million potential left back?
Are you saying Cucurella potentially is better than Chilwell?
Oh, well, he is. That's a conversation for another time, though.
Ooh, okay.
No, he is, 100%.
All right. We're going to get to it. Don't worry. We're going to get to that one.
That's
he is. Let's really
look at it. Like, the only signing from that summer that hasn't been replaced yet or pushed out the door is Kai Havertz. And that nigga's next. He doesn't have that much time. Let's be real. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I know the summer 2020 when we were all inside and we couldn't go outside and we were just on our phones all day and we were signing all these players. I know that shit was cool, but guys, we wasted a bunch of money. So
when you put it that way, I didn't realize it.
That window is going. That window is a lot closer to summer 2017 than people want to admit. It is. It's a lot closer to that Conte second season window than people feel comfortable to talk about. But is what it is, man. So, and my point is, in summer 2020, everybody was so hyped about that window. Guys, maybe we don't know that much. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy who won us the Champions League knows a bit more about footballers than we do. Maybe. Just fucking maybe. Right? So, we talk about, back Tuchel, get him the tools he wants. When he's actually pursuing tools that he wants, we're like, no. Like,
that's a valid point. That's a very valid point.
So I don't think these people want him to succeed as bad as they like to say they do. I don't think they do.
I think it goes back to the point, and I've mentioned it before, where you said it and I say it again. People want to win, but how they want to win. So they want the fairy tale story with it. They want the Disney storyline.
I would understand that if we were some sexy, romantic, historic club, but we're not. What is this? We won a Champions League playing terror ball in 2012. We finished 6th place in the league and won the European Cup as the away team in a final. We won the Champions League in 2021, scoring 10 goals in 7 knockout round games, which has got to be the lowest total for a winner in recent memory. It has to be. Madrid scored 5 against us, fucking 6 against City or whatever. Some shit, right? Like,
Rajab Kams as well, man. Big up everyone in the chat.
But where is this whole romantic, beautiful, progressive Chelsea? Where has this idea sprouted from? What are
social
we
media,
doing?
Man. Yeah, I think you know what it is. I think it's the success of other teams. So I think because City are having success in the manner in which they're having success, teams see that and go, "Yeah, I want to play like that."
That's great. They literally grabbed everything Barca had in the late 2000s and put it at their club.
They did. Yep. You spitting?
They didn't even replace them. They just got the same guys. Not everyone can do that. You can't just fucking shadow clone people and put them at 40 different football clubs. That's not how this goes.
Spitting.
I don't understand. Guys, stop crying. We are still at 0 points, 0 games played. Nothing bad has happened yet. Malang Sarr might leave. Werner might leave. Kepa might leave. Why are we crying? Marcus Alonso's going to go. Azpilicueta might finally go. Shout out to him. But why are we making this a bad thing? Why? This isn't bad. This doesn't have to be bad. It is, and it sounds weird coming from me, but we don't have to be negative all the time. Nothing bad has happened.
I don't think you're negative. I think you're a realist. When you're a realist, like I'm a realist, like Jez is as well. When Jez is talking about Spurs, you'll get called negative from your fan base. You called your attack. I gotta give you credit for this and give you your flowers. You called it about your attack months ago. Like it was over. Even I looked at you crazy when you was like, I would push.
It was August, or it was September 30th. It was that Ball is the Bridge episode. September 30th, 2021. It's there on the YouTube channel, on this very channel. It's there. So, guys, if you don't believe me, I said about halfway through that stream, I said, guys, our attack stinks.
Yeah, you did.
It is what it is. People are like, no. I was like, all right, cool. you want a manager to potentially lose his job? Cool.
You said you push all your attack off the cliff. I think you said you get rid of all your attacking players apart from, I think it was James and Chilwell. I think think they were the only two you said you keep.
So I
think
said
that's
I
it.
said that shit, and I mean it. I still would. Everybody but Sterling could march right off if you get me better players.
You said this.
So it's not sentimental for me.
Hmm.
You know, I'm cool with us getting new midfield players, guys. I'm cool with that. But like, look, we have three that are pretty good, regardless of how you feel about them personally. They get a lot of disrespect for the actual work they've done for our football club, while certain people who've contributed a lot less get protected way more. But you
Timo
know,
Werner.
like passports, like agendas, I understand it, right? The game is the game. People got to feed their kids on social media. I understand it, right? Get your likes, get your engagements, get your clicks. I hear it. That's fine. But like, let's just call it for what it is, guys. If we can strengthen our team within any like reasonable measure by targeting players like a Cucurella or a Fofana, if we sign another attacking player that I'm not particularly fond of, but he helps our team, I don't give a shit. Guess what, guys? I thought Ziyech would be good. I was wrong. Guess what, guys? I thought Werner would score goals. I was wrong. Fuck those niggas. Like, that's it. I had to take the L. I took the L years ago.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did.
I like it. It is what it is. So like, don't fall into this trap of thinking football clubs should think like you. Don't fall
Facts.
into the trap of thinking you think correctly, because
Facts.
you might not. Like,
Yep.
I'm sure we all think we have great ideas, guys. The reality is, a lot of our football takes are just football takes on Twitter for a reason. There's a reason we're not employed making any sort of decisions of any magnitude. We're just random guys.
I've said this. Like the club shouldn't listen to fans, including me. Go
Oh,
get people who
100%.
are much more qualified than I am to do the job. Like, don't listen to them. People say, "Oh, fans have influence." Don't pay attention to us. Do not pay attention to us. Go and
Oh, yeah.
do what is required for the football club to become better and become successful, or become more successful if you're having success. That's what it is. Large up Malcolm in the cut. Fraser says, "We go for Fafana, Spurs go for Lenglet." This is aimed at you. Talk to us, Jess.
I mean, yeah, like you got.
I said, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you see the thing is, yeah, also.
Anytime a guy says you see the figures, yeah, you know there's some bullshit coming behind.
Hey, this nigga's under
Let you land. He's under pressure
Yeah,
already. You know.
let me, because obviously, because I was literally on my phone.
Trying to call a timeout or what?
No, I'm not calling it on
Just-
Hey,
timeout.
just call it a
flag
drinks
and
break.
play.
It's too hot. Just call it a drinks break. Let's go.
No, the funny thing is, yeah.
Des, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah,
Wallace is
but-
frozen. Guys, somebody clip this. Wallace's face is hilarious. Wallace, if you can hear me, turn off the camera.
yeah. But
what
now
are you
let me
saying?
answer the question. Let me answer the question. Yeah, because obviously now, I mean, yeah, you're not in the conversation to go. You know you don't have the facilities for that big machine to go and spend like 75, 80 million on a Fofana. You don't have it.
Nah, I
So,
hear
like,
it.
it's just like, for me, I was kind of shocked. Obviously, I knew that Chelsea were interested in Fofana long term. I remember a couple of years ago when I saw like a report from like the Chelsea account saying that Chelsea were actually scouting him for a time. And so it makes sense why Chelsea are looking at him now. And yeah, like we signed one way, but the window's not over. I do still believe we're gonna send a centre back. And which is also gonna want to come to the league. If so any sort of questions were coming, I was asking about the centre backs. Like today I was listening to a space and I don't know what people think just because we bought Richarlison for like 50 million that we can't buy a centre back. Because like, oh, we spent big money on the chance, we can't spend big money on a centre. Bro, I don't need to spend 50, 60, 70 million on a centre back. I just need a centre back that can come in and be competent. I think Longbay can be competent in our system. And I think if you buy another centre back, they can come into the starting 11 and compete with the other guys that we have already. That's enough. Like, I don't need a big money signing like us. Just that, like the big money signings are for me to start marquee signings. A statement signing is like a signing, like a we signed Bissouma, for example, for 25 million. Pels we signed all three. For me, John two, our team is a statement signing because they replicate what Conte wants to do and they can execute it to a really high level, in my opinion. Like for me, it's not the amount that you spend on them. It's about how they come in and then be good. For certain players, we can certain players we can spend big money for, like James
Yeah.
Madison, for example. And I think this would be the wrong decision. Like I think James Madison, good player, though, but I think that would be a waste of money if you spend 60 million on James Madison personally, because I think there's a different type of midfielder that I would prefer. And secondly, I don't think he's the right midfielder that we could use in a contest system, in my opinion. Also considering as well his off-field issues as well, which could also be a hindrance. Because remember, there are stories and all these type of things about him at Leicester, why he wasn't playing at times and getting benched. Like he even had some problems with Brendan Rodgers, which I think he has resolved, but he has like off the field issues as well. So for me, it's like, yes, 2060 million Madison. Everybody says, yeah, what a signing. But for me, I look at it, the bigger picture. I'm like, is it really that good of a signing for us? I don't think so. So yeah, for me, it's about I'm looking at the player's ability and also how he acts, and also how he moves as a character, as a person. And, it's not just about the big name and that. So yeah, and even then, we never been in that market. Spurs never been in the market where they've been into like a Bastoni, a Crondo, or like a Fofana spending their big money. So I don't know why Spurs fans get so angry why we haven't signed one of them yet. I don't get it.
Bro, I think it's just people just being disillusioned with the football club they support.
Yes, I think so as well. Like had debates of people talking about how they promised us a big centre back, but which they never promised anything. They said they were willing to spend big money in the position, yet you can't tell me that 100% if let's say we go to Inter Milan, we actually will have bid money for Bastoni, or Bastoni
Yeah.
is 100% going to leave Inter Milan to join us. There was never going to be 100%. Problem, I always said to many Tottenham fans, forget about it. We can even go and try to put the money down. I don't think he needs even this summer. I think he stays for one more year, puts probably a release clause into his contract like Cucurella, and then probably leaves like that. So for me, it's like it's the expectations of the fan base thinking just because we got Champions League content, every player wants to join us now. I think it doesn't work like that. It's like the status of our club is not it's not there yet, and I think you need to show by constantly performing well in the league and also in cup competitions as well to convince those type of players.
Nah, I
Yeah,
hear it. Bro, people don't like to really deal with the current reality of where their club is at.
100%. Like,
You know,
I think
they just
it's,
like to live in their own fantasy land and think everybody should think like them, or they don't like they think the way they view their club is the way the club operates. It's like that's not really how it always goes, man.
yeah, I agree with this. To be honest, it's like
Yeah. Big up
even,
everybody in the
even
chat. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know when the Fluff Flawless will be back. He's sorting his internet though. So
yeah,
we started a bunch of comments, people. I'm here, I'm logged in, don't worry. The show will go on. There's 34 of you watching. I don't think there's 34 likes. I don't have a tab open though, so I'm not even really
I'm
that
actually about to put the tab out into the
yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
to
yeah.
see
So
what
run the
likes are.
likes up, people. Continue to get the comments in. We will star them and we will get to them in due time. Some of them, like you just like surfers just insulting Jazz. We're gonna skip over that one.
I
Uh,
There's nothing unusual.
it is what it is. Big up Eddie. He's a Stanford, Samsung Stanford.
Hey, flawless, get your internet right, man. Fuck's sake.
Amen. But
What the
yeah,
host?
big up to Latago, dropping praise on the track. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Flawless dropped he dropped his single, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
Uh, dropped some new music. It was dope. This guy's name is UEFA Sucks. That's hilarious. So the new music was fire. But yeah, Flawless, wherever you are, the music was dope. Shout out to you.
bro, he's sorting out that
Uh,
Nigerian Wi-Fi from. I know he had to borrow it to them. So
hey, this guy's slandering Nigerian Wi-Fi like you're not borrowing Nigerian Wi-Fi right now.
no, I don't, bro.
Yeah, Jez, you got 4 more minutes, brother. You got 4 more minutes here.
Should we? Hey,
Jez gonna
relax on
hop
the
over to
minutes.
spend another man's yard.
Relax on the minutes. I got an hour left. I got an hour left until I leave it.
That
I
shit
didn't
goes
even.
off.
I made sure. I made sure.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Saif said Tottenham are getting hyped up a bit too much. Think they'll do well to make fourth in the league. Saif, I don't disagree with you at all, actually. I disagree with a lot of things you say in the chat. Shout out to you for being a member, though. Any of you
Shout out to
guys
you.
want to start your membership, continue your membership, renew it, all that stuff, The button should be there on the tab you have open, right? If you're listening. Shout out to anybody supporting that way. Remember, guys, members' comments will take precedent in the chat. I see Eddie slagging me out for not being proper Chelsea. Good thing I don't care, Eddie. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Tottenham are also getting a bit of gas, considering they like scraped over the line for Champions League. Everybody talking about
100%.
like challenges and all these things. I mean, I don't know where that came from, but fair enough.
And it just came from the fact that obviously, how social media is like. They need a team. Always need that one team that they could consider like, they do something maybe to City, disruptive kind of thing. And just this last year was only Chelsea after winning the Champions League. This year's us after making top four, like considering there should have been no reason why we should be even in the top four conversation last year at the beginning of the year. So like every year there's just that one team like they need to hype up to a certain extent. But I do agree that like we definitely get an overhype. Like, at this point right now, top four is not even a guarantee at this moment, to be honest. Like considering
Hmm.
that this our manager legit himself said he doesn't like playing twice a week. That for me is a concern, bro. Like for me, it's like if you can't pattern this up, I think this could really hinder us this season. Considering it's more like yes, did we not get knocked out of the conference league, but at the same time you can say if you would have continued playing conference league, I don't think you make a top four. So it's like would you rather wanna win the conference league but don't make top four or make top four and just get knocked out like the way we did?
Hmm.
Mm, I think for now I would have said probably I take the top four just because of how long term it could probably help the team, but it depends on how the summer goes and how the season goes because it's all things are like in hindsight. So like if we go into this season and don't win anything, get into top four, then I look at last season and be like, we should have done better in the conference league. But if we do finish top four this year and win something, then I can say top four, getting out of the conference league early, but getting top four last season. You
Yeah.
can say that was for us like actually more of a good thing rather than a bad thing. It all
Hmm.
depends on how it's going to work out now from now on.
Hey, Wi-Fi man is back.
Is the host finally back?
Welcome back, Wi-Fi man. Just kidding. Here we go. All right.
Alright.
Surfer said, thinking sometime this season, Cucurella left center back, Chilwell left wing back, like Scotland do. Yes, there is no rule that Cucurella and Chilwell can't hypothetically share the pitch. That is not a thing, guys. Like we have to remember, Thiago Silva's closer to 40 than he is 35. Okay, so he's not going to play every game. Games he doesn't play, somebody has to play middle center back. Koulibaly did it for a few minutes in preseason. I'm sure he could do it, but then somebody's going to have to play left-sided center back. It gives us options. It's good to have options. I don't understand why our fans would like to turn down options.
I mean, the Ben Chilwell fans don't like it though. The Ben Chilwell fans. I saw the clip of what's it
Oh,
called?
you have a tab on, right? Or somebody does.
Yeah, you got something in the background.
Oh, that was
shit.
me watching the show, innit? That was me watching the show. That's
Hell
what it
yeah.
is. I heard the Jets cracking Wi-Fi. Hey, fuck you, Jets. You know what I'm saying? I heard you in it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I heard you in it. Everyone in the chat running jokes and that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all of you lot.
You the host, man. You can't sort of.
I don't know. I hate this new router box, man. I hate this shit, man.
Hey,
This,
hold
this
on,
shit
man.
is fucking up, man.
Hold
You know
on,
what I'm saying? P or whatever, man. Shut up, man.
Maybe it's
Hey, Falls' Wi-Fi more consistent than United's midfield. Let's go.
It is. My Wi-Fi holds up more than United's midfield. 100%.
Let's go, man.
Much better than Chelsea's attack too. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's fine.
100%.
That's fine. We'll be back. European Cup. We're coming to you.
Oh yeah, you said we're gonna do that. Oh, yo, big up to you, man, for holding it down as well. I see all you pricks making dickhead jokes in the comments, large up you lot. As well
I
to
mean,
big
that's
up
the new
Justice as
problem,
well
to be honest.
for becoming a member. Shut up, Jez, man. You know, this can be your first and last show, you know, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Carry on.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we might replace you with Elena. Timo. Timo.
Timo's gonna actually show up.
Nice.
At least it's gonna be like you said, like a what's it called? Like a double. What's it called?
Oh, Jesus.
I still
Oh,
can't
but yeah.
believe that the actually
Go
did that. I still can't believe he actually did that at the beginning.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And that is ridiculous. But big up Justice as well for becoming a member on the channel. It is in the pinned comment.
Yes.
The link's underneath in the description as well. Justice, much appreciated as well, man, for becoming a member of the channel. You know what I'm saying? And that. Go on, I didn't mean to interrupt the flow of where you man were at. That's why I started the messages.
I don't know, man.
on
Jez
the
was
thing.
talking, so I wasn't listening. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah. It's Jez in it. No one want to hear him. Makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And that. Surfer says here, we'll get back to this. Why is Jez there? Realistically, when are we ever going to talk about Spurs? Hold that, Jez. Hold that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Jez, don't take this. See, I was going to skip past that one.
All I'm gonna say is, man, let them be whatever.
Jez got nothing, you know.
This guy said all I got to say is mumble, whatever.
Jez has got nothing.
He just said whatever.
Jez has got nothing. Oh my god.
Let my team just work fine. Let's see how the season goes.
Jez got nothing. Jez a whole.
Hey, you know what? I hear it. I'm on the same vibe, man. Let the loud fan bases be loud, and we'll see what happens.
Facts. That being said, the only loud fan bases are Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah, they're the usual like starved to success, like former glory boys, weirdos, insecure people. Yeah,
it's only unless to a lesser extent Liverpool. It's more Arsenal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
they
of course.
That's normal.
Because if you hadn't achieved anything, and there was an Amazon documentary documenting you bottling a 4-point lead with like, or a 5-point, what was it? A 5-point lead with like 3 games left. You were up 5 points on Tottenham with 3 games left, and you threw it away.
Wow.
Hey, man, all they had to do was not get pumped 3-0 in a London derby. That's all they had to do.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So but big up. And yeah, I heard Peter talking about this as well. Yeah, man, big up. The singles out on all platforms August the 8th, people. We did a watch party just earlier before the show. Shout out to the whole swag team, Jay North, the whole gang, Jody and Benji. And then we'll do another one tomorrow, probably 10:30 on the Twitch as well. So yeah, man, that'll be out on all the official videos out now. But it's all streaming platforms August the 8th, which I think is that Monday? I think August the 8th is Monday. I believe so.
Yeah, next Monday.
Let's go, so it'll be out then. Yeah, man, all the odds that fell like that Jurgen guy on Merseyside. Facts, 100%. I don't know if you got to this. Save says, Tottenham are getting hyped up a bit too much. They'll do well to make 4th in the league. What are you saying about this, Jess?
Yeah, we talked about it just now.
What do you talk about? All right, cool. Yeah, let me know where you
agrees.
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, you know how my feelings about it. I've already called this top 4 race, but
yeah, we're down to Surfer's second comment right above Jesse.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, get to it then. Get to it.
Hey, Surfer and I are gonna have a show. We'll call it Cross the Line. You know what? That's what we'll call it.
There you go.
We're just gonna start insulting things and people and just events that happen.
Be on the Twitch, people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that is the place.
It'll be on the Twitch because that will protect us from you people, because YouTube made it easier to clip things now. So I don't want to get clipped for something outrageous. I want to at least make you guys like work for it, you know?
No, facts, 100%. So yeah, you will see that, people. You'll see, and that's what you'll see. As much as we do watch-alongs and we do Q&As, and you see all of the man them together, like Avengers Assemble, you'll see more man them doing individual shows like this. Cross the Line with Peter and Surfer. You know what I'm saying? Me and Cam doing the Arsenal United show as well, plus more. And you get all your regular shows as well. You will, don't worry about that. And to Seifu said, United to Werner to United, terrible. If we did this, I'd stop watching. It was a terrible idea. Everybody involved in that transaction should be fired. Everybody who okayed that should be fired and never work in football again. Yes, if he signed off on that, I'm Ten Hag out. Yes.
Hey man, you can have.
There's some things I can't stomach. Like, I'm all for signing players. I'm not really for, like, when we got linked with Mount, I was like, I don't like Mount, but cool. You know what I'm saying? There's certain players, like 99.9% of players, I give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not too keen on Depay, but I go, you know what? Cool. But Werner's in that bracket of not a chance. Even Ziyech, who we got linked with.
I
wouldn't be. But like, I'm not with Timo Werner. No. There's no excuse. Yeah, go on.
So, we were talking about Fofana hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
So one of the guys, Nathan Jising, works for DiMarzio, I think. Runs like CFC News Page. One of those guys who's like fairly plugged into transfers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said this 24 minutes ago. So we were live here, right? Shout out to everybody watching. Don't forget, guys, drop a like. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you want to push the share button, feel free. If you want to join, the memberships are there. Stop being stingy bastards with the likes, though. We know you guys are there. Just push the fucking button. Help us find new friends.
Approaching 50. We're approaching 50. So, yeah, make sure you share across all socials, man. Make sure you do that, people.
Yeah, he said Chelsea internally discussed the idea of using Ruben Loftus-Cheek in a deal for Fofana. And Chelsea hoped 40 to 45 million pounds plus Loftus-Cheek could make them change their mind. Leicester hold an interest in Ruben Loftus-Cheek. That being said, that sum of money is going to have to be increased, but I like the idea. I like ideas like that. That could be something that, like, you know what? That would actually be perfect. If it took £50 million and Ruben Loftus-Cheek to get Wesley Fofana, then I'm cool. If we have to pay 50 mil and send Colwell on a loan to get Cucurella, then I'm cool with that. I feel like these are just good ideas. Like we complain about squad players and we try to find solutions to get them out, and then everybody shits on the solutions. I love Loftus-Cheek, guys, but like he's like our version of Lingard.
Hey, don't do that. I'm
gotta let
saying
it go.
Lingard was a
You know
first
what?
team. Lingard, he's not. That's very disrespectful. Just because they're both IC 2.5, don't do that.
Is that
Loftus-Cheek is never.
disrespectful? Hey, where's
Very
that Premier League winner title, mate?
Yeah, so yo, I don't care about all that. This guy's been instrumental in the actual winning of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not just being an all-star.
So has Loftus-Cheek. Let's not do this.
Hazzy, wait, what was Loftus-Cheek instrumental in you winning?
What's up?
What did he? Yeah, Lingard's won the Europa League. What are we talking about?
Okay. That's
hold that. Yeah. No, and the FA Cup. And scored a winner. You know what I'm saying? And scored a winner in the final. Don't do that. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's where the bar is. We're talking about Lingard, Loftus-Cheek. That's where the bar is. That's where the bar is.
Here's what it is, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't even rep the European Cup because he was getting relegated. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And I know you was going to say his performance in the Bernabeu, and we seen how that turned out. That was his best.
I actually wasn't going to bring that up, but Loftus-Cheek is a World Cup. Lingard's never been one, man.
But the thing is, with Lingard, is at one point he was like easily one of our better players, and we actually had success.
That's because your team is.
This is when you were in the gutter, man.
We was in the gutter with Ollie. This is before that. This is Mourinho times. Like Lingard was like comparing him Loftus-Cheek wishes. You know what I'm saying in that? You know what I'm saying? These bus, like, Lingard was an actual bus driver. You know what I mean? Word to Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Not these bus riders in the back. You know what I'm saying in that? This guy scoring winners in FA Cups, scoring important goals in Europa League and that. You know what I'm saying? Winning doubles. And he would FA Cup. And he won the League Cup as well. You know what I'm saying? And that did what Mason Mount couldn't, but you know what I'm saying? Lingard's very good at Wembley. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Mason Mount.
Mason Mount. Come on, man.
No, you're not. That's why I went for it.
Okay. And I know see you on the shirt in the comments.
Yeah, serious. And now he's the king of nuts. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? 1 year deal. Let's go. Get your big back. You feel me? Loftus-Cheek gonna end up probably at Everton. You know, we move.
Hey, look, I don't care where he ends up as long as it's not here.
Hope you keep him now. Just for that, I hope you lot. You know what I'm saying?
I keep my hopes up. 2023 from Declan Rice and that. Come on.
What Declan Rice the Spurs? Yeah, is that what you're on, Jess?
No, okay. Declan Rice to Chelsea.
Rice Basuma.
I saw a tweet earlier, obviously, because Peter Cole tweeted that, and something it was like a what's it called? It was a back four of like.
With Chilwell, Colwell, Koulibaly, Reece James, Rice, Mount, and Gallagher with Sterling, Hudson-Odoi, and Broja up top.
I did see that. Yeah.
Mendy, like, where does this team finish? And I just said we deserve endless pain and suffering.
It's a terrible team in that.
I was going to quote it and give my honest opinion, which would have been like 9th, but
yeah, that team's so bad. You wouldn't people act like your players in your team haven't performed at a high level before. That's the craziest part.
The thing with making hypothetical teams is at least make them obviously better than our current team.
Yeah.
Like, I know people are tired of playing the back three, but like, if I put Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, Chilwell, Reece, Jorginho, Conte, Sterling, Mount, and Havertz up there, I'm beating this hypothetical Cobham team. I'm beating them. Like, we already have that. Why would we just get worse to make people feel better?
Spain, fam. 100%. But that's people for you. Like you said, they want to win how they want to win. It's crazy. It is. Abdi says, question about United. We desperately need reinforcement in attack after watching pre-season. Martial injury concern. Rashford, who hasn't been great. CR7 acting a fool. Sancho is the only reliable option. I've not watched pre-season, but, and Abdi, I'm presuming you knew this as well. Everybody knew those issues going into pre-season. Well, I'd hope so. I spoke on it in depth many a time that Manchester United need reinforcements going into the season. I didn't need 4 or 5 games or however many matches we played in pre-season to tell me this. I don't like our attackers. The only one of our attackers I actually rate in terms of the strikers in the wide areas is Sancho, Martial, Diallo. That's not enough. We don't have enough in quality and we don't have enough in quantity either. I've said this. This is why it's so important we go and get a right winger to me, whether that's Anthony or somebody else. Because then you have Anthony or new right winger Diallo as backup, Sancho and Rashford the other side. Is why I said go and get a striker, whether Ronaldo stays or not, because we need a striker. And then you have those three for that position, and then you have your backups, your Garnachos, Palestris, Alangas, etc. Because we play a lot of matches. I looked at the September United fixture list, and with Europa League starting and even October as well, you're talking 12 games in like 30 days and stuff like that. It's crazy. So it's all hands on deck because of the World Cup smack bang in the middle. Well, not in the middle of the season. So yeah, I don't. That's why I'm not up in arms about United's issues. We had them issues going in. Now they need to be addressed. But I don't really think it changes too much in regards to what we can do in the season. Of course, it helps. But I don't look at us and go, yeah, we're going to finish top 3. Top 4 potentially with new signings. But that's going to be tough with Spurs, Arsenal, and Chelsea. That's going to be a tough ask. Well, Spurs or Arsenal, really, because I think Chelsea will finish 3rd. And Spurs are looking good, and I think they'll have a good season. Arsenal, we don't know. So, like I keep saying, target that Europa League. And the team we have currently as constructed right now with that squad is good enough to win that competition. We got there with probably, arguably a worse team and definitely a worse manager. Definitely. We got there with a League One level manager. So we've already upgraded simply because we have a Premier League level manager. So we should be all right. Respect who?
Respect League One.
Who? League One.
Respect
I was out there.
yeah,
The guy said respect League One. You know, you're a fool and that. He might be League Two. It would have been interesting to see if he did get relegated with Cardiff, if he would have survived League One. But I can't even say that with Chesney would have survived League One.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, respect it, because like, with the way he plays football now,
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, I'm unsure. I don't know 110%. Yeah, I don't know. Surface says, you lot continue to get your questions in as well, people. Just keep it Manchester United, Chelsea, Spurs related. Did you get to this already?
Nah.
Okay, he says the dream summer, Werner, Alonso, Kepa, Ziyech, Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, Aspilicueta, Sarr, all out. Yes, baby. That's a lot of players. It's a hell of a lot of players.
But we lost the Cobham kid along the way, so it's all a waste.
Oh, man. That's eight bodies.
Oh, no.
Bodies.
Oh, no. Ross Barkley?
Shit.
Shit. No. Damn. How sad. I don't give a shit. The hell?
At least the Werner one's the one that's going to hurt the most, man. Like, those misses, man.
So
you know what? Werner leaves. Werner leaves. I want the club to issue an apology to the guy who said, "You guys might Werner, you're fucking shit."
Hey, he needs to just be soft, because I think he got banned from the stadium. Like, he needs to be unbanned,
given a box for the season, and he needs to demand a written apology from Chelsea Football Club.
Trust me, he was an unsung hero. I said it at the time.
Crazy.
You were smitten. It's crazy. Safe says, do you believe De Jong's coming to United is everyday passes? I get less convinced. I ain't gonna lie, Safe, I have no idea. With them crooks called Barcelona, I have no idea. I've never seen anything like this in football. We'll probably never see anything like this again. They still owe that man money. They're still out here splashing the cash on other players. I don't know if we'll sign him or not, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I hope so, but we'll see. Chester says, what's the panel's thoughts on Zaha if he comes to Chelsea? Go to you first on that, Peter. Wilf Zaha.
Bro, I would take Zaha. I think people just shitting on that idea immediately. I don't understand it. Zaha can play through the middle, is a dynamic 1v1 wide player. He's in the last year of his deal. He scored more goals last season than more league goals than our Germans combined. From open play, I add.
This guy is.
So I don't understand why our fans are like, oh, nope. And I'm like, are we sure we should be saying no to a player like that? Does that make any sense? But, it is what it is. Like, I understand Zaha isn't everybody's flavor of the month, but we complain about our attackers being too static and just being all very one-dimensional. The one thing Zaha isn't is one-dimensional.
Right.
So if we could get it at like a decent price, I would take it, man. I don't think we're in a position to not take that at all. And that's a very realistic solution that wouldn't cause us any sort of long-term damage like Cristiano Ronaldo. But the same people be like, get Ronaldo. Like, nope, I don't want Zaha. I'm like, Ronaldo only scored 4 more goals than Zaha last season, right?
Yeah.
But,
And Ronaldo, I swear, Ronaldo scored a couple of penalties as well.
Yeah,
A couple of them were
he
penalties.
scored 4 more goals than Zaha. People like, oh, Ronaldo was in a shit team. Yeah, Zaha played for Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Palace, shout out to Vieira, but like, let's be serious.
Facts. Crystal Palace, they ain't no Southampton. They not right, Pio.
Oh hell no.
That's
Shout
what I'm
out
saying. Let's
Southampton.
go.
I put Joe Rebo on my fantasy team.
Did you see the goal the other day? Oh,
I'm telling you, Surfer's sleeping. Surfer is sleeping.
That was
Hey, wait on us. When we're in 8th World Cup time, you'll see.
Hey,
When who's in 8th? Who's we?
Southampton.
Oh, right, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
Hey, for league football, I support them. I don't support Chelsea in league football.
Okay, all right. Just in Europe.
Yeah, and just when we're playing teams that I don't like.
All right.
But like, am I going to cry over Chelsea fucking Villa? Nah.
Yeah, because watch along. That'll be the first watch along of the Premier League season on the channel. People will be Everton, Chelsea as well, so that's gonna be a goodie.
Chelsea,
you ain't proper fucking Chelsea.
Fucking Chelsea.
Chess. What's your thoughts on Zaha if he goes to Chelsea?
It's a good addition considering how bad their attackers is. Like everybody looks like they're actually more class compared to their attackers. So it's like considering Zaha always been like one of the underrated players that's just been outpriced like from the moves. It's like it's not really like a bad player. I guess you could say he's sometimes inconsistent, and there's sometimes where it's like a string where like he goes very hot, and then he's on a madness, but then he goes cold. Just doesn't do. Nobody talks about him because nobody watches also Palace week in week out. But I think he's definitely could be a good addition. Because like it's not a type of player where like if you bench him a year later because he wants to make a better upgrade to make him like a squad player, but I think he would be like complaining about it. So I think it's a good short-term option, and then from long term you can look later down the line looking as like a squad player when you want to upgrade on them. So it's like overall I think it would be a good addition. I think it's just like it's a little bit too much plaque up there in with Sterling and him. I don't think the Chelsea fans is gonna like it. The icy feel for that. And I think this is also another reason because to see Zaha what's it called? Getting his rages. How Zaha is outspoken about things. To be fair, the only thing they're probably going to like about him is the fact that he doesn't leave before kickoff. So, I think, good signing for him.
The only thing they're going to like about him is that he doesn't leave before kickoff. That's funny.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yo, that's good, yo. Oh my god, that hit me late as well. I was like, what's this guy talking about? And then it hit me. That's A1 now. That's why you're here, Judges, for shit like that. That's why you're here. That's good.
Come on.
In the terms of it, Zaha to Chelsea makes all the sense in the world for Chelsea. I don't get how Chelsea fans are opposed to this. He's he knows the Premier League. He produces at a good level. He's miles better than any attacker you have who's not called Sterling. He's treble the player of any of your wingers. He's everything you need in terms of creativity. Can play left, can play right, can play through the center as well. Why are Chelsea? And he wouldn't be hella expensive either. I don't get why Chelsea fans are opposed to this. I don't get it. Zaha is a better version of St. Maximin. And if you lot sign St. Maximin, you'd probably be over the moon about it. I don't get where this Zaha thing is in it. Like I think he's a good player. Do I believe he's the creme de la creme? No, but he improves Chelsea.
People are more confident relying on Kai Havertz to get us enough goals to sustain a respectable league campaign than they are in bringing Wilf Zaha into this team. And I'm like, all right, guys, I understand. Like, you know what? All right, whatever.
He's mad. I don't understand. So
I'm not even Zaha's like biggest fan, but just like the way people are just like, no, I'm like, what?
Okay, it's crazy. Like how they can be opposed. The thing is, Zaha's actually a good player. People, it's not like Zaha's some scrub. People talk about Zaha. Chelsea have Timo Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, and then talk down about Zaha and Sterling. To me, it makes no sense. I don't understand it.
You know why, man? You know what it is. Like, stop. Like,
When you put it like that, yeah.
people want to rely on Kai Havertz, but Wolf Zaha is a no. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right.
And
Hey,
Zaha's a
I don't
better
want to
player
see.
than Havertz.
They want to
Zaha's
see.
a better
They want to
player.
see.
Yeah, go on,
They
Jez.
want to see. They want to see. Want to do the decoy runs instead of Zaha actually dribble down the line, cutting
Yeah.
inside to score a goal. And that, like, it doesn't work for that. Like I said, from like, it's big factors. Like, because the thing is, Zaha's actually a hard worker. It's one off the ball. It's not like he's lazy
Facts.
off the ball. Like, he actually works hard as well. So it's not like getting somebody that thinks he's bigger than something. And I think people definitely trying to take a chance at that because even if you think about it, if you think about the players, the best players in the Premier League outside the top six, Zaha comes straight into my mind. To be honest, like, he's one
Yeah.
of the best ones, in my opinion. Like, it's just really the fact that he was most of the time just overpriced and people weren't willing to pay the price for him.
Mhm.
But it's not like he's a bad player. Like certain players just don't get their move. Even some players like some players like Ruben Neves, for example, who I think is a good player, gets overpriced, and that's why people just not willing to pay the price for him.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like I'm saying, he is. You made a great point there, Jez, about him being one of the better players outside of the top six. Don't get it, man. He improves Chelsea's first team. But hey, Chelsea fans are opposed to it. Eddie's not having it though. He says if Zaha comes to y'all, you'll turn him into Wilfried. We cannot have it. I actually think him and Sterling together will do all right. It's just who you play through the middle is the problem.
So I
You
just
know what I'm
looked it
saying?
up last year, right? So
Go on.
Wolf Zaha and Raheem Sterling had 27 Premier League goals combined last season.
Well,
Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz, and Timo Werner at 29.
and if you take out Mason Mount, how many is it?
19.
So those two players
Strange.
outscored
Hey,
all
shut
of your
up, man.
attack bar Mason Mount, and people are opposed to it. It's crazy.
Shut
Yes.
up, man.
It's crazy.
Yes.
A big up
But
Paulo
we
27
can't sign Wilfried Zaha, man. We got to persist with Kai Havertz for year 3.
is nuts. And yeah, Surfer said Werner leaves. I want a public apology from Timo. Hey, Timo, you are
Facts.
going to be you are in the mud. If it's going to be worse than when the Lakers didn't make the play-ins. It's going to be bad for you if
Oh
Timo
my
Werner leaves.
lord.
You are going to get smoked.
Yeah.
Surfer, love
Yes,
for the super chat as well, my
yes,
guy.
what you
Appreciate it. Big up Indiana as well. He says, yes, people. Arsenal are challenging for the title. I'm told Arsenal are back. Who told you this?
Arsenal fans, probably.
Who told you this? All right, please let me know, Indiana, because I know you're a very sensible and knowledgeable football fan. So I know you don't believe this. I just want to know who was the messenger. Normally they say don't shoot the messenger. Now that messenger needs to be shot. You know what I'm saying? And that whoever said that.
It needs to be exiled,
Yes,
executed, and all the type of shit.
facts.
To be fair, I saw a tweet because some Arsenal fans said because that, like I said last year, replacing with Gabriel Jesus, they can challenge for this year because like Gabriel Jesus is 10 times the better player and is probably going to score it triple of the goals that, like I said, scored last season. And I was like, it doesn't work like that. Because last year, when we look at Chelsea, for example, we thought the signs that they made, they go on to challenge. This was not me, obviously, but football Twitter thought this is what's going to happen. But then it went always the side way. Like, it's funny because everybody say, they only need to do this and this and that, and then they can challenge, and then sometimes it just goes the completely other way. That's why I always say I would just want to go and wait and see how the season goes on. Until then, I want to wait for my judgment and really see, okay, is this team actually really this what we were supposed to be, or is it just all hype? That's why I don't get synced into all this hype. Even Arsenal itself, like they could win the game against Crystal Palace on Friday, all get hyped up. It doesn't mean shit, to be honest. If at the end of the season they're just buttoning like they used to, and if they don't do anything, yeah, because like I said, it's always like that. It's always like that. Especially certain fan bases get hyped up, especially the Arsenal, thinking the team is better than it really is. Like, I see videos of them thinking they have like a cold lineup. A centre back that never played one game in the Premier League, Martinelli, Odegaard, and I'm supposed to be scared, man.
Indiana says Sterling and Zaha, they tried to move Tiny on due to end product. This is madness. He calls Timo Werner tiny. Big up Indiana. Dominic says incoming Arsenal meltdown this weekend after Palace win 2-1. We all know that Arsenal are going to lose to Palace on that Friday. First game of the new season, all the hype. Friday night, away from home. I'm just so pissed I'm not about. I'd love to do a watch along for it. But I will be like keeping an eye out when I'm out and about on that game. It's gonna
I'll
be
tell
very
you,
interesting to
I'll
watch.
tell you just right now. A 90th minute penalty from Salah, or 80th minute header from the corner from Mateta.
Right.
Either one of those two things are gonna happen.
Facts. Big up Surfer again for another super chat. Love Surfer. He says it's very simple, flawless. Parts of our fan base have limited brain cells and they're all proper Chels and never put any seasoning on their potato salad. Hey, fair enough then. Fair enough, Surfer. Fair enough. Save says, how did Chelsea win the European Cup with players like Havertz, Ziyech, and Werner?
Yeah,
Over to
hold
you,
that, man.
PM.
Hold that,
Over
man.
to you. He's asking you, innit?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. They were playing against us the majority of the knockout round as well. I couldn't tell you. I don't know how we did that, but it's what it is, man.
And Indiana says Zaha is a very entertaining player. I love watching him on his day, but wow, not in terms of title challenges. I think Chelsea are just trying to improve. Chelsea are closer to fourth than they are second.
Oh, this isn't a sign Wilfried Zaha we're challenging for the title. We're
I
not
didn't think
doing
that.
That's not happening this year. But in terms of like people, I can't watch these attackers for another season. Like, there's a very simple solution. Whether the club do it or not, I'm not going to be too fussed either way. But like to pretend that wouldn't improve us a lot, I just think is weird.
Yeah, he does. He improves you a lot, like a lot. Like I said, he solidifies you in third. Let me reiterate this again. Chelsea are closer to fourth than they are second.
Yep.
And I'm not saying they'll finish fourth because I think they'll finish third. My point is, it's all about closing the gap on second place. Zaha helps Chelsea do that. Now, if you have Sterling, Zaha, and a quality number 9, that's a different conversation. And Zaha's kind of like the third best out of those 3 because we know Sterling's capable of challenging for a league title. It could work for Chelsea, but you have to go get a 9, and that's not Kai Havertz or Timo Werner or Batshuayi. I'm telling you, man, Cristiano Ronaldo's the answer. That's the way forward for you. Like, solidify that third spot.
Nah, man, he's got to get out the mud with you guys this year, man.
Can I ask a question, though? Like,
yeah, go on.
It's what's in my mind because I was discussing that with someone on the space last night, and I actually want to ask, like, your club, who's actually on forward watch this year?
All of them, fam. All of them, bar the new signings, bar like Sancho and Varane because they've only been here a season. Everybody else is on fraud watch. Everybody, all of the play like that. For the first time, you have no excuses not to play to a certain level because you have a manager who's going to implement a system. So you have sufficient help to the point where I'm like, you can perform. So your De Gea's, your Dalots, Bailly, Varane, Lindelof, Fred, Bruno. Trying to think who else I forgot. Diallo's young, so I allow him. Sancho has only been here a year. Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo, if he does indeed stay. Martial as well. So pretty much the majority. Like I said, minus the new signings, minus Sancho and Varane, because they just came to a complete shit show, and your youngsters as well. I'm not going to be on Diallo's case if you don't perform this season. It's like we shouldn't really be relying on you. But yeah, a lot of them are on fraud watch because you now have, like I said, you have ample help to do what needs to be done. And the ceiling's not even that high. I'm saying, just go win the Europa League, play some better football, get some better results. Like, if I say this again, if United were to finish 6th and win the Europa League, that's a very good season. I'll take that. And then next season is when I'll be like, all right, let's break into the top 4. Okay, let's go on a run in the Champions League. Not win it, but like go on a run, get to the quarterfinals. Like, United need to solidify themselves as a top 4 side again, like one of the best 4. We need to solidify ourselves as one of a Champions League side. Because currently we're not. We need to be in the competition. Similar to what Atletico Madrid do. Like, when you think of Atletico Madrid, you look at them as a Champions League side because they're always there. That's where, and then you build from there. Right, that's how I look at it. Eddie says it's Chelsea's fault Arsenal is talking like this. Now, Arsenal are always talking, but
I was going to say, like, they are delusionally confident regardless of what happens.
Yeah, the majority of them are.
They would have found a reason to talk like this anyways.
They beat Norwich at home and the hype up and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't need like Chelsea or like Chelsea or Spurs to do that.
No. Well, that's it. In spaces, trust me, they're talking the minimum of third. Why are Arsenal getting his chest from that? He finished in third.
Why is that not the maximum?
No, I'm seeing that.
I said minimum third.
Why is that not the maximum?
I've seen some people say minimum.
What do they think is above third? 2.5?
To be fair, I've seen some people say that they should minimum finish second because like the way Liverpool has decreased as well as like without Mane.
You guys know, like, you guys know Arsenal haven't beaten Liverpool in like a meaningful match for like.
This is what I don't get. Understand.
You guys know this?
They beat them in the first half, maybe, like City.
They haven't like actually beat Liverpool in a game that's really mattered in like 5 fucking years, guys.
It's crazy.
They beat them behind closed doors in COVID when Liverpool had already basically won the Prem. But like, cool, whatever. But like, yeah, no, Arsenal have been twerking for Liverpool pretty much since Jurgen Klopp showed up. Pretty much.
It's crazy. Frontera only says 90% of our fan base have excuses. You, Frontera, you have, well, your name says it all. You have been saying Arsenal ain't really doing too much. You have been saying this for the longest time. So I gotta give you your plaudits for that. Surfer says actually finishing third means we are equal distance to fourth and second, not by points total, buddy. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that points total. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. This guy got jokes. Chelsea are looking at Sesko from Salzburg. Oh, you not in from Jesters? Where did you hear this?
Apparently, Bowley met with Sesko's agent like a few weeks ago or something.
Okay,
I believe it.
Okay.
Look, would I be mad at signing some random guy from Salzburg? Fuck no. But like,
I'm with it. I'm saying get Sesko. I'm with it. We need a striker. Get him in.
Look again.
You're looking at
Like, what about Broya? And be like, that guy scored 6 Premier League goals last year. Shut up. If you can bring me like, if this guy's a wonder kid, if he actually is, I'll take him.
On Football Manager, it's a wonder kid. Like this guy.
What we could do is just buy him and loan him back to Salzburg. There's no reason to run him into the team this year.
That's also true. That's also true. To be honest.
How about United? We signed him and we'd actually use him. So I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? We need a striker.
Wait, Salzburg are in the UCL, right?
Yeah, they're in the UCL.
Are they in champs? Okay.
Yeah, man. Run them back. Let me look that up. I'm pretty sure they are.
They should be in the Champions League. Unless they're playing qualifiers.
They might have to. I'm gonna look this up on UEFA.com. But it's if they have, they're in the UCL. Yeah, we can loan them back, man. It'll be all right. Loan them back.
I look at him in FM, bro. Every time I'm gonna start a new file, where like I can afford him.
This guy got jokes, you know.
This guy, wonder kid.
Look at this guy, yo. The Surfer says that Sesko story was a spelling mistake. Bowie was caught in a travel agent there at Tesco's. This guy got jokes, you know. This guy got jokes.
Hey, that's what it is, man.
It is. And the thing is, Indiana, the reason why I'm not letting the agenda run with Arsenal, because they do this every year. They make these outlandish claims, and then when it don't happen, they just make excuses. Babs does it all the time. Oh, we're gonna finish top 4, this, and that, and then when they don't finish top 4, it's just hella excuses. It's
Bro,
never my team's not that good.
Injuries happen like not.
Last year they were supposed to finish ahead of Chelsea. Last year they were supposed to finish ahead of Chelsea.
Well, hella talks on that, like, and then there's never no Arsenal are not good enough, Arteta are not good enough. It's jokes about United, or it's, you know what I'm saying, or it's just excuses for, like, they're just not that good a team. I've said this before. Arteta's not a great manager currently, and their players ain't that good. Do they have some good players? Yes. Do I think they've done good business? Yes, I think Zinchenko and Jesus actually are good signings. But are they good signings to do what? Finish top 4 for Arsenal to go out in the Champions League like they have in their entire history? Like, what are we talking about?
Like that, they had better teams. They had better teams that just their side bitches to like so on responsibility and didn't do shit in the Champions League. So for me, it's like I look at the team and say, yeah, this is a good Europa League side. In the Champions League, maybe round of 16. Depending how tough it could be, the round of 16 squad right now, like it's nothing crazy. It's not a team that challenges for the league in the Premier League. It's not a team that goes to the Champions League and compete, even if they have the lack of control. Like we had the lack of.
I don't get it.
We just had a lucky when we got to our final round, to be honest, like, to the final. We had just lucky shit like going for us, like VAR and just Ajax collapsing, for example.
Yo, and there's just under 70 of you lot locked in, which is sick considering this is the pilot episode, the first show. Let's bump the likes up though on the video, and make sure you share this across all the socials as well. You can go to the Sarcasm City TV socials on Twitter and Instagram. You can retweet and like from the Twitter, share it from the Instagram as well. I'll go to my That's Me Flawless, so you can find Peter and Jez's socials as well. Retweet and like, share. Let's get over 70 people in there, people. Let's boost these numbers up again. Much appreciated. But I don't get, like I said, with Arsenal, it happens all the time. Like there's just never no common sense. But I think what it is because they're the big team who have gone longest with it. They're the most successful team who have gone the longest without success. So as bad as it is for United going 10 years without a Premier League, for them it's double. They haven't won a major competition since 03, 04. Like, whereas my team is 2013. So it's kind of like there's a major difference. So their fans just be deluded saying anything. So you get the likes of a gal saying, oh, we have a title winning defense. When he jumped on Shameless and he was like, everyone's done laughing at Arsenal. I was like, where? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you lot, that literally, the FA set it up for you lot to get beat this Friday. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, you lot got set up. It's like when, like, you know, like in wrestling, when they cut back from an advert and you just got that random guy in the ring just to get beat up by the superstar. That's Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? That is legit Arsenal. Like, they'll just set someone up to get beat up by Brock Lesnar or something, or they're trying to give someone a push, and it's like, all right, this person's gonna get squashed. Arsenal are the jobber. They did it to him last year. They played Brentford away last year. Like, they know what they're doing.
I don't know, man. With them, like, I gotta see it before I believe it. Same thing with Tottenham. Like, I understand, guys. It's cool to like downplay Chelsea's potential as like anything. I get it, right? We didn't have the best league season. I hear you. We were 15 minutes away from going to the Champions League semifinals last year. Like, you guys want to know the last time Arsenal were in the Champions League semifinals? 2009. You don't have to think hard. It's been a long fucking time. Like, let's just be honest. Like,
in the cut though.
Even like, this is the thing. Like, Arsenal finished above Chelsea 3 times in 19 years. I want to say 20 years if you want to throw in the league title season. Cool. 3 times the last 20 years. Fair enough. I'll put any amount of money that any Arsenal fans want down that we will finish higher than you. Do it right now. We can do it on the stream. You guys know my at. Like, you guys know how to find me. If you guys want to put money behind it, we can. Cool. All good. Like, I don't mind. But nah, man. Like, I gotta see before I believe it with the North London clubs. I'm past the point of like buying hype. To show me, like, actually show me something, right? Like,
show something.
People are so eager to take victory laps before a race has been run.
Yep.
We were all doing it last year. Arsenal, like, we're making UCL comps about playing UCL football, and we know what happened.
Yeah, a guy was one of them. Shout out a guy in the cup. A guy was one of them.
You know what happened. So it's like, excuse me for not buying your hype 3 months after I saw you guys fall apart. Like, you know what I mean?
Spin.
Like, we can't act like that didn't happen.
Like, see,
yeah, go on, Jess. Yo, Jess, you sound a bit quiet, you know.
Can you hear me better though? Or?
Yeah, I hear you better. Yeah, I'll send you the link, girl. Give me 1 sec. You know what I'm saying?
Because for me, I don't believe our own hype yet as well. Like, for me, it's like, I need to see it in order to believe it. Even if we would have signed it, let's say we do end up signing 2 or 3 players that I personally want to think come in just starting 11. I need to see it first because, like, we haven't done it. At the end of the day, we haven't done it. Like, this is all just hype. There's no evidence to show, okay, if you go and sign this player, that player, and that player, we're actually going to go and do it. It's about if you can do it. And if you have done it. Like, if the track record was there, I can believe it more. But until then, it's just all like believing rather than actually thinking it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it is, because I like a guy. Like, a guy's cool, but he know what he'd be doing because the guy's smart. Like, when you talk to him, and I've sent you the link, guy. When you talk to him outside of Arsenal, he knows, like, he's not stupid. He knows his stuff, but he knows how to drive engagement. He knows how to say shocking things. You know what I'm saying? He's like I've used Arsenal as the wrestling in a wrestling analogy. That's him. He knows what to say to draw money. You know what I'm saying? And see that you never know who's gonna show up. He's here with the Arsenal background. Welcome, Miguel. What are you saying, fam? You good?
I'm doing good. Yo, Peter, I'm not a betting man. You know me.
Of course you're not.
I'm a Muslim brother. I don't gamble, right? So when it comes to that, I would take your bet, but I don't want to gamble. So if it was something else, then maybe we could do that. But I don't want to paint myself blue ever again. So that's not going to happen either. So,
hey, anyone who wants to take it, let me know. You can bet whatever you want.
Okay, let me tell you this. I don't disagree with you guys. I'm going to come from a sensible point. Peter,
thank you.
I know you, and I know you talk about logic and what you've seen and what the numbers have shown you over the last couple of years, and it's shown you that Arsenal have always had some level of optimism and have fallen away. But in my opinion, what we have done this season, which Manchester United and Chelsea have not done yet, is we fully prepared ourselves. I feel like going into this new season, in majority of the key areas we needed to improve in. Where you could say Manchester United have not fully yet prepared themselves going into the new season, and you could say Chelsea have not fully prepared themselves. I could say Tottenham and Arsenal are more prepared for this season than Chelsea and Manchester United. And based off just what we can see so far, it is a fair assessment to say we've seen enough improvement in these two squads to say, you know what, they could potentially finish higher than these two teams. In Manchester United, who had their worst season last season, and Chelsea, who had a bad end to the season last season, it has not had a great transfer window, and with the issues with the new ownership change and everything else, has caused some disruption throughout your transfer window.
The thing is, I let Peter. You want to go on it first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Respond back. Right,
yes.
Yeah. Hold that thought
also,
before you
Peter,
respond. Before you respond back to him,
I know
hold
you
that
don't
thought.
like
I want to
Arsenal.
respond to what
We're
he said.
cool,
But go on.
right?
What?
I know you don't like Arsenal, but we're cool, right?
I mean, if you don't think
we're
we're as cool as you think we are. How about that?
Bro,
I don't think we have any problems, but if you want to have problems, we can have problems. I don't mind. I'm cool either way, man. But
them fighting words, bro.
But my point is, Igal, how many matches did Arsenal play last season?
We played I
already know the answer. The answer is 44.
We got knocked out early in a lot of the competition.
I already know the answer. The answer is 44. You can look it up. But the answer is 44.
Peter's not having it, yo. Wait, what happened? Are you man cool? What happened between you two that missed?
I don't know why he's asking me if we're cool in front of
I would ask you if it was private. As long as you man good at great talk.
I have no idea what that question. My point is,
because he gave me a stank face, and I'm like, is it the opinion or?
No. I'm trying to sign up for a private fantasy league. I'm not even looking at you guys.
Okay.
No stress, Peter. I was just making sure that I just had to ask in it. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, I wouldn't give you a stank face. I'd just insult you.
That's true. He would just.
I don't do passive aggressive.
He was very blunt.
He would.
But not. So Arsenal played 44 matches last season, right?
Yeah.
Chelsea played 63.
Okay.
Obviously, geopolitics, people couldn't keep their hands to themselves. The fucking Tory government trying to be all big and important and do the whole gesture, politics, and symbolism and bullshit, right? All that happened resulted in Chelsea having to hand over the football club, right? We couldn't sell pies, couldn't sell match day programs, couldn't sell tickets. For some reason, nobody seemed to notice why Stamford Bridge was nearly empty towards the end of last season. You couldn't sell it. Basically, all this distraction, right? All these things happening. My point is, we had unique circumstances last season. People are taking them as the rule instead of taking them as an exception. People don't want to acknowledge context surrounding why things at the back end of last season might have happened, and are just extrapolating based on a very small sample size and projecting into this season. When you're going to have more games to play, unless you just forfeit Europa League, which I don't even think is allowed. You got to play at least 6 games there. You're going to have more games to play. We're in an even more condensed season, right? The one thing Chelsea's squad one of the things we have over your squad is the ability to show that we can play all those matches in that short amount of time. Played in 5 competitions last season. Between matches, we had the least days off on average out of all 20 teams that competed in the Premier League last season at 3.6. Arsenal's number was at something like 4.8. That makes sense because you guys didn't have Europe. I get it, right? Yeah. But until I see a team put together a decent league season and a decent European campaign simultaneously, I am not going to put them over a team that has already shown that they can do that. You could say we were poor last season. All right, that's fair. I kind of agree with it. But you take that total of 74 points. That is the total that Arsenal have only eclipsed once in the last 7 seasons.
Okay.
So basically, our season last year would have been your second rated league season since.
How many points did you finish with?
74.
We finished with 75, if I'm not mistaken, with Unai Emery's.
That's why I said second, brother. Trust me, I know the numbers.
Okay. So, my rebuttal to that is no 2 seasons are the same. 1. Number 2.
Yes.
Number 2. When it comes to Chelsea, you have gotten weaker in certain areas, and
which areas?
In the sense that, or you could say that you're the same, or potentially you could say you've gotten weaker. Center back, you've lost 2 center backs. You've only brought 1 in. So you could technically you've gotten weaker in the defensive area. You could say midfield. You haven't. You brought in the academy youngster, came back from loan. So you could say you've strengthened there. And I think attack is probably maybe a little bit better or the same. So maybe I shouldn't say you've gotten weaker in many areas.
Why is the attack the same?
The attack, I generally think you haven't changed too much besides bringing back Broha and bringing in
this guy's wild, Joe.
That's it.
The attack part in it. I don't
think you've done too
you don't
much.
Think, you don't think Sterling's an improvement on their attack?
No, I'm not saying Sterling's not going to improve their attack. I'm just saying.
Okay, so their attack's better.
I don't think Sterling
got added, and you think it's the same.
I don't think Sterling by himself. I don't think Sterling by himself is going to be enough to move the needle to change all your fortune. You're still going to need more.
That's not the question, brother. The question was, have we improved? And you said we say the same after signing Raheem Sterling.
I think you probably have. I think even though Raheem Sterling's come in, I don't think you've changed it enough. Okay, maybe it's not that. Maybe you didn't stay the same. 100%. You've improved. Okay?
Maybe, yeah.
You've improved on your players that have been underperforming.
Gal is one of the best people. I love this.
Let me give you that. 1 second. My wife's telling me I'm too loud.
Yeah, no worries, man. You know what I'm saying? And that. Yeah. Calm, handle business, fam. No stress. It's all good, yo.
Hey, guys, we signed Raheem Sterling and our attack didn't improve.
Okay. Peter,
you see what I'm up against?
1 second. I will gladly correct myself. You have improved in the sense that Raheem Sterling is better than what you originally had. And before I even went there, I was going to say there's only one area where you can say technically you haven't improved in, which is your defense, because you still need to sign another center back, and then you can say maybe then you can say, you know what, you're either equal or you potentially could have improved there. But the other areas you have improved to a certain degree, but I still don't think it's enough to say, you know what, you guys are ready for this season, because you still need a midfield signing that you guys were talking about. You're screaming out for this.
Hold on. Don't bring other words from other people that I did not say to me.
Okay. Do you think Chelsea need another midfield signing this summer?
No, okay. I don't.
Fair. Do you think you need another attacking signing this summer?
That would be great, but the Spanish fullbacks, which. Thank you for showing up, but I said it earlier in the stream. Rewind's there. Anybody who doesn't believe that I said these things an hour ago, you can go check.
Sorry, I missed the early part.
The Spanish twins going to Barca need to be replaced. It's a numbers thing. From a quality perspective, the players we are bringing in are better than the players that are walking out the door.
Who?
Antonio Rudiger. Let's just say, for example, right?
We Koulibaly is better than Rudiger.
100%.
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
That's a fair argument.
110. Let's just say, right? So, one, you're taking our squad as it is today and saying we're going to compete for the entire season with this team, right? That's kind of like the argument I'm hearing.
One thing I am doing is I am saying, based on today, the 2nd of August, the squad that you currently have today, if you don't bring in the adequate signings, which you possibly will, I have you projected to finish 5th, and I think that's fair.
All right, I'm gonna ignore that you probably have Tottenham over us. I'm gonna
pass.
Regardless, even if you do make the signings, Tottenham are finishing above you and Arsenal.
If we do make the signings, Tottenham and Arsenal are finishing above us.
No.
So you have Arsenal. Chelsea?
I said Tottenham are finishing above Arsenal and Chelsea, no matter what.
What's your top 4? Is it
my
City,
top
Liverpool,
my
Spurs,
top 4,
Arsenal?
It doesn't matter. I think 3 people are stapled.
No, it does matter. No,
I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah,
I think 3 teams are stapled for top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea is not in the top 4 staples. You don't have Manchester United in the staples. You don't have Arsenal in the staples. It's just Liverpool, City, and Tottenham are guaranteed their spots in the top 4 this season, I think. Similar to how Chelsea was guaranteed that 3rd spot.
Why are Tottenham guaranteed a top 4 spot? What did I miss?
I think Tottenham have things that you don't have, in the sense they and a lot of people in this league don't have.
Interesting.
Which is 2 world-class players that are in an attack that is up there with the best in Europe.
Okay, where did that get them last season?
It got them 4th, but they didn't perform for the first half of the season.
They played once a week.
Listen,
and they got bounced out of the
first half of the season.
Right?
They didn't perform for the first half of the season, and you have me as an Arsenal fan defending Tottenham, because I think Tottenham are a serious outfit, and I think they are going to be performing to a level with Antonio Conte, the new signings, the level of backing that they've done. They're going to perform to a level where they stick in 3rd.
Before you continue, so what's your top 4 prediction currently as it stands?
And then fourth, I have Arsenal.
No. What? No. What is your no? So your top 4. So what? I'm not even asking to disagree.
Man City,
I'm asking so
Liverpool,
I know. City, yeah.
Tottenham, Arsenal.
Okay, so that's your 4. Chelsea 5th, United 6th, yeah? I'm guessing.
United 7th, potentially.
All right, wait, no, potentially. All right, since you wanted to go there, then what's your top 7? So who's the other team? So Chelsea 5th,
I think it's a toss-up
Newcastle?
between you. I think it's a toss-up between you and West Ham. But
Okay.
I have West Ham 7th. I have Manchester United 6th.
Okay.
Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, of course. You can do it yourself, fam.
I'm not even trying to banter Man United.
I know you're not. I know you're not bantering it. No, you said it in a bantering fashion. That's why I said it, but it's cool.
But this season is going to be a transition.
I see all this. I see all the slick shit, gal in it. You can't bullshit. That's why you see.
All right, so you guys can see, right?
Yeah. Zoom in a little bit, fam. Zoom in.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how to zoom that. I'm not even.
Oh, you can't. All right, no stress. We can see it.
Anyway,
just do the full screen option if you can't see it.
Nah, I've got it.
Is this your last title-winning team or your last second?
No. Let me explain it. All right. So Igal said Tottenham. He believes Tottenham has things that we don't have. My question is, do you think a team of Thibaut Courtois, Antonio Rudiger, David Luiz, Cesar Azpilicueta, Victor Moses, Cesc Fabregas, and N'Golo Kante, Marcus Alonso, Willian, Pedro, and Alvaro Morata? Keep in mind that team's missing Eden Hazard. If you want to put him in there hypothetically for Willian or Pedro, feel free. Do you think that team is better than the team that Tottenham have now? Because I do. I think this team I'm looking at from August 27th, 2017, when we beat Everton 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, because Cesc and Morata scored, is better than any team Tottenham can put together right this second.
I think this team is better because it has potentially 3 to 4 world-class players.
Okay, so with the core of this team, Igal, how many points did Antonio Conte finish on in the 2017-2018 Premier League season? You don't have to Google. I'll save you the trouble. He finished with 70 points from 38 fixtures.
But that was after the season you lost. You won the league.
Yes.
How many of these players were in that team that won the league?
How many of these players?
Yeah, in this 11. Only one, right?
No, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these players. Hazard was on the bench, so that's 5. I could be missing. Oh, Gary Cahill's not in this team, so 6 out of this squad were in the squad, like in the 11 mainly that won the league. Yes, 6.
What about Marcus Alonso? He wasn't in that team.
You're talking the previous title.
Yeah.
Oh, in that team, everybody but Rudiger and Morata was in that team.
So are we going to ignore that?
So I'll stop sharing my screen now. You guys kind of get the point, right? You said they have things that we don't have, or like our team currently doesn't have. I showed you Antonio Conte with the chance to reinforce his team with £250 million, right? That team finished a whopping 5th. My point is, let's just not give somebody the benefit of the doubt and write off their ability to underachieve at the expense of a team in Chelsea relative to the North London clubs now has actually achieved way more as a group. I understand people aren't high on Chelsea. It's cool to not be high on Chelsea. It's trendy to be all North London. These clubs are great, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it, right? That's cool. Do that. Do what you want to do. But in terms of who has actually like achieved something of like any like reputable note, I don't see why we are just in 5th. I mean, I do. You support Arsenal. I get it. Like, it's edgy. I get it. Like, I hear it, man.
Okay, forget about edgy. Can I
I don't see where
before you rebuttal.
Okay. My point is,
I just want to get to the comments. Not even you.
Yeah,
you can add in it, but I just want to get to this couple comments. Before we do that, make sure you hit the like button on the video. Still over 80 of you lot locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell when you do roll to 5K. Make sure you go subscribe to Igal's channel as well, EGTV. Make sure you go subscribe. Ray Millie says, United fans hating on Arsenal's window hard. They want them to finish outside the top 4 so bad when it's possible they can achieve it. It goes hand in hand, like in terms of hating. I don't know if I presume you're not talking about me. I've legit said I think Arsenal have done good business. I think Jesus is a good signing for them. I think Zinchenko is also a good signing for them. The other players they've signed, I don't know too much about. I think Arsenal's biggest deficiencies are, and I say this before and I say this again, is I don't rate their team. I don't rate their manager. So this is why I'm not looking at them to do anything. Do I believe they'll be in the race for top 4? Yes, but I don't think that's on Arsenal's quality. That's the issues that Spurs have. That's the issues United have. Potentially, if Chelsea are in the top 4 race, which I don't expect them to be, it's on them as well. It's more the other teams' deficiencies than Arsenal's greatness. I don't see Arsenal's team as anything special. And people hype it up and talk like it's cold. And then to back that up, they don't have a manager that's done anything. So I don't get where it comes from. I don't get where, if Arsenal had a bad boy manager in charge like Conte, like with Spurs, even though I disagree with it, the hype to the level it's at, I understand where the hype is coming from because Conte is a good domestic coach. Arteta has not done anything. One sec, I'll let you go in a sec. Arteta has done nothing domestically in the league that is special. He's done nothing in Europe that's special.
Can I just explain myself real quick?
If you've gone, none of these players have done anything special either like that. As good as I think they are, and even with the signings they've made. I just don't get it. When I look at Arsenal, I'm like, all right, that's it. But yeah, go on.
All right, so the point of all that, why did you bring up a team from 5 years ago? It's a quality thing, right? If we're going to give Conte the benefit of the doubt with what I assume are inferior tools, how can I ignore when he failed with superior tools relative to what he has available now? We can say Conte is great, Conte is this. Like, we can't act like 2017-18 didn't happen. To assume with Antonio Conte of all people, for me, is crazy. I think that is absolutely insane. 41 points first half of the season. We're a distant second to the Centurions, right? They obviously go on to achieve what they're going to achieve. That man got 29 points the back half of the league season with that team.
Got you.
It's not great, but like to give like the assumption there, I'm not getting that, right? Especially when you have a manager in Thomas Tuchel. Yes, he finished 4th his first season. Yes, he finished 3rd last year. He averages like 1.98 Premier League points per match in his time there. It's not great, but just to put 2 teams above him, Arsenal situation, you've got a relatively unproven group of players. Yes, you've got talent. I hear that. But there's assumptions being made here that I don't think are consistent or I don't think are logical.
Okay.
I want to make them make.
I don't think
before you go, just one last thing, and then Gal, let me just respond to this from Safe. I don't understand this. If Son has the season he did last season with 23 goals, then Spurs are a real threat. Spurs are a real threat to what, Safe? Like, elaborate on that, please. I genuinely want to know. And then to Sean, who says, we'll see in 6 months, these opinions won't age well. Arteta is tactically above Conte. I'll go out on a limb right now and say Arteta will not reach the heights that Conte has reached. Whether you think he's better tactically or not is a whole different. We know who the better manager currently is in 2022. And it's not the guy who's managing the red side of North London.
People.
No, opinions can change, but one thing we're not going to do is sit here and say Arteta is a better manager than Conte, because he's not.
I didn't say that. I just
I'm not. You saying that? I'm saying this. So why him saying? This is why I put up the comment to Sean to say Arteta is tactically above Conte. Okay, let's say he is. He's still not a better manager. You know what I'm saying? He's still not, like, we know who the better. If you can pick one manager to manage your football club right now, and the 2 options are Arteta and Conte, you're picking Conte. That's just a fact of the matter. Like, we can give opinions on
some people might not like style of play.
Yeah, style of play, whatever, if you're talking about success here. And it's not like Arteta plays great football. You know what I'm saying?
The problem with using words like better and using words where you try to like quantify success some way to some sort of indisputable metric is people let their biases, right, cloud what we actually should be looking at. If you're going to use a word like, and I'm not saying you're doing it, but like in the comments, if you're going to use a word like better and then cite progressive styles of play, that's all well and good. You can be negative and achieve things. You can be progressive and not win shit. Look at Marcelo Bielsa.
Facts.
You know, like,
you're saying Spurs will be a real threat for easy top. Okay, I hear that, Safe. Nah,
I just think right now Chelsea need to get another center back in. I think Chelsea, if they do lose the wingers, they're going to need backups for those fullback positions, or at least maybe if you have academy players who can come into that position also. I still think you should try to address the central defensive midfield area, or at least get somebody else who can cover when Conte is not available. And I don't know if you guys have somebody of the standard to do that. And with your midfield, if you're still going to be playing the way that you guys play with the 3 at the back and then the 2 wing backs and then the 2 midfielders, I think it's just gonna weigh heavy on Conte at the age that he's at, to be that main guy, to be the destroyer and to do what he does.
He wasn't the main guy last season though.
Kovacic was, and Kovacic broke down.
No, I mean they all played like I'd have to look. I'll look it up. I mean I have time.
Kovacic was your best midfielder last season, and he broke down. And I just think your midfield, what you guys used to have strength and depth in majority of the key areas. And I just feel like your strength and depth is not as good as it used to be. And you've now accumulated all these players who, in the attack especially, that have not performed to the level that you need them to. And if I'm not mistaken, was Mason Mount your leading goal scorer last season, or was it Lukaku?
He's been our leading goal scorer for the last 2 seasons, man. We finished top 4 both times.
This guy got jokes. It's Jez. You know what I'm saying? Jez is here, but he's just a
he's our leading goal scorer for the last 2 seasons.
There he is.
Okay, so is it safe to say your team is going to be left having to solve a lot of issues come the end of the window? You still have a lot of players that want to leave. You've struggled attacking wise from the back end of last season. Defensively, you're still solid, which is going to keep you in the race to get top 4. But I just don't know if you have the balance in your squad, and if you're going to address all your needs, in addition to sorting out the attacking issues, and if you're also going to get the squad depth needed to play the games that you have played over the last couple of seasons. Because the last couple of seasons, even though they might not be the quality of what everybody is saying Chelsea need to win the league, Chelsea still are held to a higher standard than a lot of clubs in this league. And for the quality you guys used to have in comparison to what you're going to have going into this season, I feel like it's either the same to what you had last season or maybe a little bit worse in certain areas like the defense.
I don't see how it could be worse.
Because you're going to potentially lose Marcus Alonso and Thing. They're not big blows, but I don't know if you're going to be able to replace them so late in the window.
Do you think Chelsea Football Club do you think Chelsea Football Club would let Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcus Alonso both walk if they couldn't replace them?
Potentially, if it means you try to address it later in the season, later in the January window, or maybe next summer.
Chelsea. I mean,
have you not done that before?
Chelsea have reported what?
Have you not done that before, where you've let a player go and you haven't addressed it right away, and you addressed it later down the line?
Oh, like let a player go that we were relying on to do things?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't happen. If anything, we have too many players because we don't want to let them go. No, the reason Cesar Azpilicueta had to go on the U.S. tour and basically say goodbye everywhere we went to go train is because he knows he's going to Barca. Until we get a center back in, he's not going anywhere. Marcus Alonso is the same way.
So how many players are you bringing in? Because you still need to replace Christensen.
At least 2.
Need to replace Azpilicueta.
I would say at least 2.
You're going to need to replace Marcus Alonso. You're going to need to get another attacker in, because I feel like your attack is still missing one more piece. And potentially, you're saying you don't need a midfielder, but I think you guys would need a midfielder, similar to how you'd say we need cover for Thomas Partey.
I mean, I haven't spoken on your squad or like what I think you're missing, right? But like, so I guess the question is, do you think we need all of those things to finish above Arsenal, or do we need all of those things in like a perfect universe to challenge for the Premier League?
I think with the players you're losing, you need all those. You don't need all those things. You just need another center back. You need 2 fullbacks, and potentially one more.
And before you
just 3 signings.
Before you go, just one quick thing.
At least stay the same as what you had last year.
It's not even football related. One sec. Yo, large up my guy Eddie, and I just seen it pop up. He's been a member of the channel for 13 months. Big up to Surf. He's been a member of the channel for like 16 months. I think Timo 19 months. Big up all the members in it. Big up everyone who continues to support as well. The membership link is in the pinned comment as well. Go on, girl. Carry on.
Shout out to him, man. That's almost a year, bro. Big up over a year. Big up to him.
Over a year, man. Shout out my guy Eddie, man. Crazy. And you can catch him on Man United every Thursday as well with me, and on NBA watch-alongs and courtside commentary as well.
Okay, Peter.
I'm gonna go.
You need minimum 3 of them just to keep your level the same as what you had last year.
Is that assuming what we're bringing in is the same quality as what's leaving? Or are we also factoring in we're probably upgrading at positions?
Even if just simply based on outgoings and incomings, you need minimum the same the players in those areas. If you let Azpilicueta, you've already lost Christensen, and you lose Marcus Alonso. Even though you could potentially bring in some academy players, just the sure fact is you're going to need to find some sort of way to circumvent the loss of those players, because they did play a lot of your games.
If you manage a company, right, and you were losing 3 salespeople who sold on average $150K worth of product a year, right? commissioned out at like 60,000 quid, and you've brought in 2, but they each sold 250K of a product. So you're getting 500K instead of 450K with your old group. Did you get weaker or did you get stronger?
You potentially could have got stronger, but you're not going to have enough people to cover the shifts because you're losing 3 players that are playing in different areas of the pitch, where you're bringing in 2 players that are not going to be able to cover all those players. And we are listen to what the City guys saying in the comment section. There's going to be 5 substitutes. With more squad depth, you're going to need more. With more people on the bench, more potential people playing, losing players and not addressing and replacing all of them, or at least promoting someone in the academy, you're going to be left short.
Question from Indiana for you, though. Question from Indiana for you says, Gal, do Arsenal have 5 subs that can compete next season?
Yeah, we do. If I just look at the last game that we played, 1 second.
Yeah. Pull up the subs. I'm going to respond to what you originally said, but the debate between you and Peter was interesting, so I was letting it go as well.
Okay, so we're going to have on a day where we have a fully fit team. Potentially, we still need to sign more players, obviously. And I hold my team accountable for that. If we don't get another midfielder, and we're going to be going into the season better, but not fully equipped to what I wanted it to be. I still want another midfielder, and I still want potentially another winger. But on the bench, we will have Martinelli we'll have ESR on the bench. In my world, we would actually have Martinelli and ESR on the bench, but since we haven't actually signed that winger yet, right now we only have ESR on the bench. We will have one of Saliba or Ben White on the bench, right? We will have one of Kieran Tierney or Zinchenko on the bench. So that's 3. When we do have Nicolas Pepe in these guys, but I don't rate Nicolas Pepe in them, so I'm not going to include them. We have Sambi Lokonga on the bench. We'll have Fabio Vieira on the bench. Those are still unknowns, but they're also on the bench. And then, so that is 5 bench players that I would say that are of decent quality. And then the rest goes to fringe players like a Pepe is a fringe player. Rob Holding's a fringe player. You have Marquinhos, a youngster that's very unknown. El Neni, fringe player. But basically, we do have a decent bench now in comparison to what we had last season.
Okay. But the chat saying 0 depth. Indiana saying, I said compete. It depends what you're looking for. And what you said, I wanted to get back to originally when you said you believe Arsenal have had a better window and are more prepared than Manchester United in the window so far, which I ain't even going to disagree with. Fair enough, that's cool. One thing we have done though, even though Manchester United need more players, we've improved that first 11, like without question.
Everyone has improved to a certain degree.
No. There ain't no certain degree. We've improved our first 11. Have you improved your first 11? Is Zinchenko an upgrade on Tierney?
Wait.
I'm asking the question.
You've improved your first 11.
Yes.
With Eriksen.
Yes. Malacio and Martinez. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We've improved our first 11 with Gabriel Jesus coming in and replacing the 11th man that was literally not playing football.
Okay, so he gets it. I agree with you. He's improved your first team. Is Zinchenko an upgrade on Tierney?
Attacking wise, he's much better than Tierney.
No. We're not ducking the question. Is he a better? No. Is he better? Who is the better footballer?
He's better. You think Zinchenko's better than he's better suited to the system that we play, which is the inverted left back. He is better. So you have the play as an inverted left back. The reason being he's better is because he offers us somebody who's 2-footed, who can play on the left side, that can also tuck into the midfield and offer us more protection in the midfield when we have the ball and when we don't have the ball. And when he's on the higher end of the pitch, his press is much more resilient than Kieran Tierney. He's technically more skilled, actually.
I'm not even disagreeing with you. I was just asking the question. Give me your play, and who else have you signed that improves your first 11?
Fabio
Vieira is now actually a person who's a backup to Odegaard. He's not a starter.
That's not the question I asked, Igal. I'm very specific in what I'm saying. I asked you. I said now two of them. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not even disagreeing with you.
What about William Saliba coming back from loan?
You tell me, because you'll know more about. Is Saliba better than Ben White? Is he
William
better than Ben
Saliba-
White and Gabriel? Is he better than those
William
two?
Saliba would start at every single one of our clubs.
No. Forget him starting at every single one of
No, he
our clubs.
wouldn't.
That's not he
He
wouldn't.
would
But that's
start
not
at Chelsea right now.
that's a red herring, man. A gal trying to
your
throw us off the
youngster.
scent.
What's his name?
You're not gonna throw us off the scent. No. Don't
You
throw us
think
off the
Saliba
scent.
wouldn't start over your academy youngster?
No. This is not what we're doing. Stop. No. Wave the white flag.
What's his name
Everyone
again?
stop here.
I'm
Time
sorry.
out.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I forgot his name.
Time out. I know
I
you're
mean,
not
if
trying to be
Chelsea
disrespectful.
spend 80 million on Wesley Fofana, would Saliba hypothetically start over him? Fuck
This
no.
is not what we're doing, man.
Saliba is a better player than Wesley Fofana.
No. Who does he start for in the Arsenal back two? That's what I want to know. Who does he start next?
Right now,
Yes.
Tomiyasu's
Who gets
injured.
dropped?
Right now, Tomiyasu's injured. Ben White's moving to right back.
No. Forget that. I'm not talking right backs, left backs, centre back pairing. You play a back four.
It's him and Gabriel.
So it's him. So Ben White gets dropped in your
Ben
eyes.
White's getting dropped, or he's getting
Okay,
moved to
cool.
the right back at this moment in time.
All right. So Ben White either gets
Versus
shifted
Crystal
or
Palace, he's going to be playing at right back.
Got you. Right. Now I understand. So you believe you've improved your team as much as we've improved our team. And the thing we're forgetting as well is we've improved our manager tenfold.
No. You have improved your manager, but we've also improved our squad depth. Where you've only made 3 signings, we've actually improved our squad depth in addition to improving our first team.
We've improved our squad depth with Diallo coming back. That's an improvement.
Okay, fair.
With Martial coming back, that's an improvement to our squad.
I'll give you that.
And also on top of that, the manager is major. The upgrade we've done on the manager is incredible.
You also still need to do a culture change. You still need to figure out how to play under Ten Hag. There's still a lot more question marks over Manchester United than there is at Arsenal, Tottenham, or Chelsea.
Yeah, you lot probably for the first time, you lot are under more pressure than us.
100%. It's deliver or go home.
Yeah, like 100. And when you say, before we get to that, Indiana say flawless, that's not guaranteed. What's not guaranteed? Talk to me. And when you say you have to deliver, what in your eyes does Arteta have to do?
Europa League or top 4?
So he has to win the Europa League or finish top 4. He's gone.
Or you're gone. Simple.
Okay.
No question about it. There's no negotiating. There's no coming back to the end of the season saying, oh, you know what?
Go on, Jez.
None of that.
That's fair. Go on, Jez.
Can I ask you a question though? Because I believe at the stage where Arsenal are, look at this squad. Shouldn't be the target be not just either one, but both of them? Because I believe
I want
Arsenal
both. I agree with you.
Because for me, if you want to be honest, no manager in this current time gets 3 years at the top in the top 6 and don't do anything like in terms of other than the obviously he won the FA Cup, but other than that he hasn't really achieved anything at Arsenal. Obviously, you can say circumstances, dog parks, and everything, but no manager gets 3 years. From my opinion, it is kind of a failure if Arsenal don't get both of them. In my opinion, I think they should definitely get one of them too. In my opinion, but I think they should go and get both.
I think failure is a stretch. I think failure is a stretch, but you should say, you know what, aim for both of them. If you don't get both of them, at least you've progressed into the Champions League. Where Peter, you're now going to say your team has been in the Champions League for this long time, and we're trying to get into it, but that's just a reality.
No, I was going to say Europa League shouldn't be that hard to win. It shouldn't cost you 350 million quid. But fair enough.
I mean, I've already said I expect my team to win it.
I think both of you should be demanding that your club win the Europa League. I don't think that's a stretch. It shouldn't be this hard. It's not that hard. It isn't.
I've said this.
It isn't. Trust me.
Yeah, go on, fam.
It shouldn't
go on, fam.
You're you guys are Arsenal. You're past the point of I understand rebuild all this stuff. There's been serious money, serious patience. Eventually, results need to happen. And if you do get in the Champions League and you don't win Europa League, is he going to get sacked? Obviously not. No,
he's going to get sacked.
If you finish top 4 and he doesn't get Europa League, is he going to get sacked and he doesn't win the Europa League?
No, he said.
No. He's only getting sacked if you don't get either one.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you make the top 4, he's not getting sacked regardless of how. But if your European elimination is another Olympiacos, no one will care if you get 4th by the end of the year.
Facts.
Right? The remit is to make Champions League. But this, I don't think it should be. I think it should be a failure to not win Europa League, regardless of whether you make it into Champions League or not. You are clearly one of the best teams in it. You should look at it and be yeah, we should really be winning this. And you know what? You could disagree. That's cool. But look around. There's not many better teams better than Arsenal or United in that comp. There will be a few that drop through, that trickle through the cracks, right?
That's why I said.
Jez's team will probably be in that shit because Conte is a dog shit UCL manager.
Shut Peter.
But once all 3 of you are in that comp, you should all demand to win it. That's the way I'd be looking at it.
You know, we speak on a daily basis.
Yeah,
You heard me say this constantly.
Because in my opinion, obviously,
go on, Jez.
If we do drop down to Europa League, my expectation is definitely to win it. But I always want us to finish in fourth. Like, I don't think just because we're in the Europa League, we should just stop trying to actually finish fourth as well. I think it should be both time, because I think this would make me convince more going into the next season. If you can convince me, you can get both done, in my opinion. Because for me, it shows you the mentality and also showing that you can do both, in my opinion, and then you strengthen the team upon that, and you do better. Then I can have more faith going into next season as well. Because I think getting just one out of the two, I think it's just not good enough, in my opinion, especially considering that like where we want to go, like really and truly, like a Liverpool City, let's say the top, for whatever reason, are in the Europa League, will easily finish in fourth in the top four and get in the Europa League. So for me, it's like if you want to aim to go and get to those teams, I feel like we need to achieve both of those things. I think it would be it's not a failure of the season if you drop down to Europa League and win it, but don't finish fourth. But I would be disappointed, to be honest.
Look, bottom line is both times we touched Europa League, we won that shit. You can say we waste a lot of money, and we do. I agree with you. But like when we go down to Thursday football, we win.
Yeah, I don't like how you call it.
That's all I'm saying.
It's the magic of the Europa League. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And not you doing that. I know who you're talking about.
Don't do that.
Do you feel like there's a thing where it's like there's this thing where you've been there, your team's done that, you have to do it at least once? Because like Tottenham have been unable to win a trophy. Chelsea have been able to, even at the worst times, win trophies. Arsenal at our worst times were still able to win FA Cups. You know what I mean?
More recent than you.
I mean, like guys, we can say balancing the Prem and Europa League is hard, but like my club did that both times we won it. We finished third place while winning the Europa League before there was a Champions League spot attached to winning it.
But you guys did that with a team that potentially could have also won the league.
When? Hold on, when?
Didn't you win the Europa League back in the day when you had John Terry and them, man?
So we had Hazard, Oscar, Mata, Fernando Torres, who wasn't scoring, Lampard, Ramirez, Mikel, Ashley Cole. Yeah, if you thought 2012-13 Chelsea could have won the league, then fair enough. I didn't think that was on
a lot of those players have won the league at Chelsea. That's my point.
I mean, yes, but like that was also a lot of those players' first taste of major European knockout football. Like there was a lot of young or like fringe players. Victor Moses in that fucking team, like playing actual winger. He wasn't even playing wingback. So, like, guys, like, I understand balancing Prem and Europa League is hard, but, like, hey, we've done it.
No, here's the thing is, in terms of, not if you prioritize one over the other. And I've stated this. I want Manchester United to prioritize, forget Premier League, prioritize the Europa League. That's what I want my manager to do.
This shouldn't be impossible.
The stronger team should go, like, his thought process should be, all right, we got a Europa League quarterfinal coming up. I'm going to play my stronger team rather than play, you know what I'm saying, my stronger team on the weekend against whoever. Like, that should be it. You have to prioritize. It's not the same of balancing the Premier League and the Champions League is hard because you want to win both competitions. That's tough. To me, balancing the Premier and Europa League is not if you're not trying to win the Premier League. Manchester United, and this is just me speaking, are not trying to win the Premier League. We are not even trying to compete for second place. We ain't even trying to compete for third place. Why are we prioritizing?
I think Tottenham are.
Tottenham are trying to do what?
I think Tottenham, they don't make this level of investment if they're not trying to win.
Trying to win what?
I think they're trying to win the league.
Well, everyone tries to win the league, but it's not feasible. Conte's not sat down with what's his face? What's your guy's name again? Levy. Conte and Levy are not sat down and they're talking about, right, this is our assault on the Premier League. Spurs are let me reiterate this again. Spurs are a million miles away from winning the Premier League. They are far, 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 far away from Manchester City and Liverpool. Despite what you may think of City,
I fully agree.
With Liverpool, so they're nowhere near a Premier
I fully
League.
agree, but I think the expectations for Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United is to get back into the top four. Because I feel like Chelsea's in a transition.
Well, they're in the top four, so
I think Chelsea needs to retool. I think Arsenal, we're near the end of our rebuild, and Manchester United is actually in a rebuild.
I hear you. No. You know what it is.
Where Tottenham are closer to challenging than they are to a rebuild.
Yeah, if they win,
I
that clip
disagree
is
with
going
you, man.
viral. Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually
But
I
look,
think
disagree with
guys,
Tottenham
that.
are closer to
and you know
a
what?
rebuild.
If they
Oh
do win
yeah,
it, and
oh yeah.
before
They
you
just don't know
continue,
it yet.
Indiana, if they do win it and that clip's going viral, I'll be flying around in the flying pig. You know what I'm saying? And that Spurs ain't winning no league title, man. Like people need to get rid of this. Spurs are not winning a league title. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because there's no international football. This is the same people, not you, Indiana, but the same people who were telling me Ollie could win a league title because he finished second. No, he can't. There's no way Conte with that Spurs team is beating Liverpool's Klopp and Pep's Manchester City to a league title. It's not. Just look at the two teams. Despite what you may think of Nunes, despite what you may think of Haaland, those two teams are far and above better than Spurs. Jez is a Spurs fan. He'll tell you that. Jez is not there like, yo, we can win the league. I don't get it.
No.
I
Like
don't
for me,
understand the Spurs hype. Or they can finish second. Based off of what? It's
see,
crazy.
like I said it many times before, like on the streams. Like for me, obviously, I don't go on spaces to like talk about it because then obviously I had to manage to speak to my points. So usually that's why I don't. You see me on spaces usually as much. But when I talk about this whole Tottenham trying to aim for the league title, Conte himself right now knows this team is far away to even go and challenge for the league title personally. Like you have a world class for free. I give you that. Like Son, Kane, and Kulusevski, I think this is one of the best attacks in the world. But then after that, when you look at the team, it's just the starting 11. Just look after that. You still have Ben
Don't
Davis,
get me wrong.
Eric
I
Dyer.
don't think you're gonna win it. I don't think you're
Yeah,
gonna
no, I
even
know.
get.
But I'm talking about the people that do think that we can actually challenge. Like for me, it's crazy to think that we can challenge. Like even in my fan base, the people that believe we can finish in single digits behind like a City and Liverpool. I just totally
People tell
disagree.
me you're gonna win either the league or the Champions League. Every time I go on a
Yeah,
stream
but
with a Tottenham fan, they tell me
people are
they're gonna
crazy
win one
though.
of them.
But those
Arsenal
people
fans
are
do the
They're
same
going to
crazy.
win
thing.
the Champions League with
But
Antonio Conte. That makes total sense.
but the people forget just even the European trophy. Just the fact that just let's talk about the league because obviously you look at Conte and think about him as a league manager, and then I think they're looking more at the front three, considering two of the players in the front three are world class in most people's eyes. So this is what they're looking, and that Conte doesn't really even need big names in order to compete. But for me, it's like considering how consistent Liverpool mentally have been, especially when each actually going after each other in a title race. Like for us to even be this consistent, I think we just miles off it, and I think it takes time and just content being longer. If content was here 3 years into his job and we've been backing him, I will hear it more if we also improve on the squad on the first team. But the second season, when I really look at us, still having Davis in the backline, still having Eric Dyer in the backline, Hoiberg and Bento was one of the midfielders.
Are you got
Our right
Basuma,
wing back,
fam?
yeah, Basuma's fine in it, but one of most likely after talking about that we need a right wing back all season, we still going into next season with either Emerson Royale or Doherty as the right wing back. Like I don't understand where the how hype. Yes, we signed Richarlison. We signed Burns. You could say we signed
Do you think Richarlison was a bad
Ridley.
signing?
I don't think he was. I think in terms of the money that we paid for was the bad signing. I think the
I
player
agree.
itself. I think what Conte wants in us forward. I think he resembles that. It's just the money that we spent on him, which was the bad thing about it.
Yeah, I
think
thought the
we-
money was ridiculous. Also,
it was just ridiculous money in it. But for me, it's like this team is in nowhere near just even shaped to even be in this type of consistent title race where they have to challenge a Liverpool and a City. Like these people go at it and literally like imagine losing a league title by 1 point and you had over 90 points. Like this is insane for me. Like I don't know what our highest point tally was in the Premier League, but it definitely was not 90, that's for sure. And I don't
86
think
under Punch.
so exactly, and I don't think Conte will get us there. Like, I think he's a good league manager. I think we can get to afford this year with this one, like getting close to a league title or just even single digits behind them too. I think it's crazy to say like. I think he needs to be on the scope. Like for him to even do that, I think he needs time and patience, and also give him the backing as well. But the issue with him is he's not the type of manager that waits. He thinks he wants to do it now. And if I think it's just the wrong project for him to come in and expect that we can challenge within 2 years. it will take time. And I think, this art, for example, you're coaching, for example, at Arsenal. You right now, you're building your team where like, after 3 years, you can say it's decent enough where like there should be, you have actually expectation to be finishing the top 4. And if they don't, it's definitely a failure season, not because your team was actually, your team's actually good to actually be finishing those positions. But in a couple of seasons before, like, I thought Arsenal fans were crazy to think they should be finishing 4th because your team wasn't good. And this is the same thing that I think. I think our team's good enough to be finishing 4th. If we dropped onto a Europa League, I think we should be compete to win it. I think we should win a domestic trophy this year, depending who our opponents are in the way as well. But we definitely not good enough to win a league title. This will take time and just patience as well. With also Conte's being himself patient and also committed to the job, because next year his contract is going to run out and we don't know if he's even going to stay at the job. So for me to think that he's going to win a league title next year, it's kind of crazy, to be honest. Very crazy. And all these people that are trying to argue with that, even in the Spurs spaces, like, the people that are trying to shut me down, trying to say like, I'm negative. No, I'm not negative. Like, show me the proof that they can actually do it. Where's the proof that we can actually go and do it when we didn't scrape 4th literally on the last day of the season?
So you know what's happening here? I'm trying to raise expectations for Tottenham, and you're trying to keep them level-headed.
The same thing that we would like. The shoe would be on the other foot if we were discussing Arsenal, right? It's
that being
normal.
said, in a gal's defense, he did say that Arteta has to finish top 4 or win the Europa League, or he should.
But he tried to say not doing both is not necessarily a failure.
But
not doing both is not a failure, because how is it a failure if you meet your objective?
I just think Arsenal have a team that's good enough to win Europa League.
See, that's where we disagree.
Our objective is to get back into Champions League.
Like, on talent, they do.
Either
route. Let me say that again. I don't think they have a manager who's good enough to win Europa League. That's what I say.
Because like, if I think United can win, I definitely think Arsenal can win. Like,
I don't think, but I think that's the manager thing. That's what it is. It's the manager.
I'm just looking at like talent of like the players.
Yeah, in terms of the players,
team, though, that is a cop out.
What's a cop
out? Why is it a cop out? I just want to say Indiana.
If you just always just put everything down to the manager and you ignore the fact that the players have to perform, there's so many other factors.
All right, so let me respond further to that. I don't think your team is good enough to carry a manager who's not good enough to a league title. I mean, to a Europa League.
And I think Arteta hate has taken been taken a little too far.
How is it hate? This man has done nothing of note that is special. Why has he done to show he's special?
Out of Europe by Olympiacos and Unai Emery, man.
What has he done in Europe? Let's start there. What's he done in Europe? What's he done in general that makes you go?
He went to a semi-final. He went to a semi-final. That's as far as we've gone.
Ollie went to a final.
Yeah, you went to a final and you lost to the same team that beat us in the semi-final.
Okay, but Ollie went to a final and he's not good enough. So your point makes no sense. I'm saying, give me evidence to back up that Arteta is good enough to win a Europa League. You can say I'm hating, but I'm stating facts.
The transformation in our attack, the way that we defend, the fact that I can see on the pitch the style of play and the significant improvement in the way that we play as a system, as a group. We have a clear way of building out from the back to the front. You can see when we have when things are going well and we have Thomas Partey and we have the quality on the pitch. You can clearly see our style of play clearly throughout the season when we play. Whenever we played with Thomas Partey, Xhaka in the midfield, and we've had Ben White and Gabriel fit last season, which was our key areas where we struggled, which we still need to address the midfield this season in the transfer window, or else we're going to struggle again. That is what I would tell you. When we have our first 11 and you've watched us play, for example, against Manchester United at home, there were shaky moments, but we played very well majority of the game. Against Tottenham, first game in the North London Derby, we played really well. You could clearly see how we were supposed to play. Near the back end of the season, before we had the terrible collapse against Southampton and stuff, after we got the injuries to Kieran Tierney, you could see a clear style of play, attacking football, where we're creating a lot of chances. Our players are getting in the right positions. The thing was, we're playing with 10 men with Lacazette. And you couldn't really see us full throttle. This is the first attacking player Arteta has signed, and I'm telling you, Gabriel Jesus is absolutely going to bang, and you're going to see a team with Arteta's spine now. You're going to see a
Okay,
team
it's
with a
got
striker that
Arteta's-
he signed, a midfielder that he signed, a defender that he signed, and a goalkeeper that he signed. Where
That's-
up until now, we never actually had that.
Okay, so you've got his spine, so you've got more of his players, which goes back to my point is I still don't think these players are good enough to carry this manager. Nothing you said there was in regards to the manager.
I think Arteta is a very disrespected manager in this game.
What is it? How is it disrespect?
I think Mikel Arteta.
I'm asking you, what's he done that special?
I think
that
if
makes
Mikel
you
Arteta had the
league?
quality of players with the style of football that he plays, you need the quality of players to play that style. He is not going to.
You need that with anybody.
He's not going to try to get the best out of. He did this his first season. His first season, he tried to get the best out of the players that he had. And then the second season, he said, I'm going to implement my style and bring in the players that I need.
Okay, let's take Arteta's name off, and that applies to every single manager who's successful at any level in the level of the game.
And I think Arteta has the potential. I think Arteta has the potential to do great things as a manager.
What is this based off? Why? What has he done that makes you go?
This is based off what I've seen in a guy in his first couple of months.
Because
how
he's implemented his style.
He implements his style of football.
Okay,
I think if Mikel Arteta was at Chelsea,
my manager's just implemented.
He'd be getting better out of those players attacking wise.
Okay, my manager's just implemented the style.
And this is where I interject.
All right,
you got how many goals did you score last season?
We scored less goals than you, but your attack was terrible in the sense like your.
Why did you not score less goals than Chelsea?
You want to know how many less flawless?
We scored less, probably.
Goals
than Chelsea. No, you didn't.
Yeah,
he's lying to me, Agal.
Because the rest of the team scored. Their attack doesn't actually.
No. Agal, tell me he's lying. There's no way.
No. Flawless. Who do you think scored more last year, Chelsea or Tottenham?
Now we said on this, I would have presumed it was Spurs. Am I wrong?
Oh, no way, brother. We scored 7 more goals than them too.
Really? Yo, hype is a thing. So how has he transformed your attack and you lot scored less than Chelsea?
15 less than us. But our attack stinks and our coach can't coach attackers.
Listen,
they're finally getting
outrageous.
You guys clearly have your opinion on Arteta. I'm not going to change your opinion.
No. Because you said, you just got saying your manager would get more out of our attacking players. Let's assume that's true. Do you think your manager would have gotten the results my actual manager did with these players?
I think Thomas Tuchel is a better manager than Arteta.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a direct question. It's a yes or no, brother. Do you think?
The yes or no? What is the question? Can you rephrase it again?
Mikel Arteta would have achieved what Thomas Tuchel achieved, or possibly even more, or maybe less than Thomas Tuchel has actually achieved if he took over Chelsea Football Club on January 25th, 2021, instead of Thomas Tuchel?
I don't think so. But what I think he would do is you'd be playing a different style to what you play.
I still can't believe that Arsenal scored.
I think you'd be playing a different style to what you currently play. That was my main premise.
So we go. You don't think we would have achieved more? Do you think we would have achieved less?
It's not that I think. I'm basically saying I'm not comparing Arteta to Thomas Tuchel in the sense of manager. I'm just saying the style of how they play. He plays a different style, and I think he'd be playing a lot more attacking.
Okay, but do you think he would have achieved the same, or he would have achieved less, possibly?
Arteta has never been in the situation where he's been in a Champions League.
I'm asking you what you think in this hypothetical, brother. I'm not asking.
I don't think. All I can do is go off assumptions. Arteta in the FA Cup, he's won that. But when it comes to European wise, he didn't do that. So you probably would have got a European. You probably wouldn't have gotten a European trophy, but you probably would have got a domestic trophy potentially, which you guys haven't.
Okay, so can we agree on a less consensus?
Say it again.
Can we agree on a less consensus here then?
Yeah, you can say he would have got less.
Okay, my
whole thing was not only about better, right? My whole thing was not about success. My thing was about the style of play.
Okay, so the beautiful thing about this is Chelsea, and fuck that shit.
Okay,
like fuck all this romantic football bullshit. Sorry, tried it, lasted 1 season. Villas-Boas tried it, lasted 7 months. Like, I hear it, you might, and this is where I was talking about people's biases towards what they like to see in football may cloud how they like actually judge people. Like, yes, would we play more sexy football with Arteta? Maybe. But brothers, this is Chelsea Football Club. We won a European Cup that way. And if you can't tell me with any certainty that Mikel Arteta would have won a European Cup in that same time span, given the same resources, then there's no point discussing this to me.
Yeah, and back to the point is,
the jab about attacking football, cool, you can have that. You can call Tuchel a terrorist all you want. I don't care, right? I got a European Cup sitting over there, and I got memories from that for the rest of my life. That's never going to be taken from me.
They do say terrorists win.
In this environment at Chelsea Football Club, you achieve or you kick rocks. That's it. Sexy football, like football revolutions, purists, we don't do that here. It's not prioritized.
Interesting.
And back to it, what you're saying, Gal, there's no hate on Arteta. I'm just waiting to see something. Show me something. Do something of special. Do something special. Do something that makes you go, that's cold. I've not seen
I'm not asking
go, he's going to be elite.
I'm not asking for a title challenge. I'm not asking him to win the UCL. I don't feel personally like it is too much to ask your squad to finish in the top 4 and win the Europa League. That is the same thing I asked of my squad 4 years ago. Okay. Same exact thing with the manager.
I think we could do it.
That season.
I think we could do it, but for a team that hasn't been able to get into the Europa League for as many years as we have, Champions League, as many years as we have. All I'm saying is, guys,
it's going to be year 5.
Getting back into the Champions League is the first priority.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was like,
and Peter, I hope you can acknowledge that I'm trying to be fair and balanced here. I'm not just going to.
No. I get what you're saying. You made the dig about getting the most out of attackers. So I was like, okay, what are we talking in terms of success?
You scored less than Chelsea. I'm not letting that transform.
I don't want to live in a world where we're free scoring and achieving less. Like the not scoring is annoying. Don't get me wrong, because we can't catch Liverpool and City like that. But in terms of like the crux of this debate, finishing in the Champions League places, we did it when Mount was our leading scorer with 7 goals, and we did it when Mount was our leading scorer with 11 goals.
Okay, let me ask you this: does Arteta play good football?
So we're like we're trying to boil things down to like terms like good, right? Which is a subjective term. Fair enough. Do I think Arteta plays good football? I don't mind it. I feel like at times he sells himself short being too dogmatic to what he believes in. But I have to like ask myself, would he behave this way if he was in a different environment with perhaps less patience? I don't think he would, right? Like I think he knows he's not actually going to get fired. So he can be more of a purist in terms of sticking to his principles and his beliefs because he has the time and patience. Is that a good thing for some managers? Yes, we see how it worked out for Klopp. Obviously, that's Arsenal fans' dream. I get it, right? So, but for me to say, I don't think the football is always smart. I'll say that. I think he's naive at times when he doesn't really need to be in terms of setting up your team or trying to play a certain way. I think he's a bit naive at times, but he's inexperienced. Like that's normal. That's always going to happen. I don't actually have much of an issue with the football he plays or what he's trying to do. That is not my thing. My issue is I am not going to give him or the Tottenham group, for example, the benefit of the doubt at the expense of my team. Because yes, my team is underachieving, but we're talking about like the baseline of getting into the Champions League. That's something we've done 4 out of the last 5 years, the last 4 in a row, regardless of what it looked like. Yes, it was ugly, but they got over the line, right? If you guys just had so much more talent than we did, maybe I would give you the benefit of the doubt. Yes, Spurs have great attackers. They've also got Emerson Royale, Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Davinson Sanchez, and players like that, right? Like,
hey, hold that, just hold that.
If it was just 2-on-2 football and Kane and Son played against other duos in the Prem, yeah, they'd probably win the league. They would probably win. I'll be real. That's not how football is played. This isn't pick up basketball at the park. You know what I mean?
I'll be so good.
It's a squad game. It is a squad game. And I saw my team beat Jez's team 4 fucking times this year, most of the time playing a combination of Marcus Alonso, Hakim Ziyech, and Malang Sarr. And Kepa was in goal all 4 times. They didn't score a single time. So excuse me for thinking his team is shit.
That was not a foul, man, on Thiago. I don't get it.
Whatever. So it's 8. It's 8.
Hey, Jez, hold that, you prick. Hold that.
So Jez, you would have scored at 3-0 down in the Carabao Cup. Fair play to you, man.
There was still a goal. Still a goal.
Well done.
All right, so you would have lost 8-1 on aggregate across 4 games.
You leave it with certain Peter, man. Massive difference.
Yeah, you know what, Jez? I'll give you 4 hypothetical goals. It doesn't change any of the results, brother. So, like, you see what I'm saying, Ego? Like, I got to see it. I have to actually see it. I've heard a lot of talk, and I get it. I understand why fans are like to be excited. I'm never going to tell a fan base to not get excited. What I am going to say is if there's this hype and there's all this barking and the rubber doesn't hit the road like what happened at the end of May last year, then like, hey, man, somebody's got to pick up that tab. That's what I'm saying. So I am going to stay on this side until I'm proven wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong about our tab.
Okay, so how much of a sample size in the league campaign do you need to see to be like, you know what? Arsenal are serious. Tottenham are serious. Chelsea, if they don't get their act together, we could potentially not get top 4.
I'll just judge it at the end of the season, whether it happens or it doesn't.
So it doesn't matter if it's 4 weeks before the end of the season
until
and you're mathematically possible to still get top 4. You will still believe your team will get it.
And at the end of the season for me is when we can either not make it and we're out of all the other comps, or the season actually ends and we're not there. Until it's no longer possible for me to say we will do it, I'm going to say we are going to do it at the expense of one of your teams. That is how I feel about it. I'm going to go with that. If I'm wrong, whatever, right? But I'm going to sit there. I feel more comfortable being on the side. Again, I'm willing to switch. If Arsenal make it at the expense of Tottenham and we still make it, and I'm wrong about Arteta, fine, I'm wrong. I think Conte's shit too, guys. Like, I am not part of that Conte fan club at all. I don't think a team signing fucking Fraser Forster and Clement Longley and Ivan Perisic and Yves Bissouma and some random black guy with dreads from the Midlands and Richarlison to sit on the bench is going to catch my team. I don't think they are. That window is a lot of it. Put up Chelsea's window from 2017.
Shut up.
Hey, put up Chelsea's summer window from 2017. Put it next to Tottenham's window right now. They look really spooky. Really, really spooky. So when this shit, as I'm predicting, doesn't go the way most of the optimists think it's going to go, don't cry to me. I'm not going to have any sympathy. I don't think those players outside of Bissouma and Richarlison and Perisic are actually helping their team. They signed a lot of quantity, but what the fuck am I going to do with Longley, Forster, and a young Jed Spence who Conte doesn't want?
Serious and a black you that was like Jed. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Personally, I even want to see Longley start because I think he could be better for our system than Davis. This just shows for me the levels that, like, in terms of, like, that's what I always said. We need 3 more signings. I still need the centre back that comes in straight away into the 11. If Spence doesn't get to start next season, then I need a right wing back, and one of Emerson or Doherty has to be sold. And I need another midfielder to come in to replace Bentancur or Herbert because both of them should be squad players. Like, I can't take this.
Bro, this is your best
if you see a Herbert or Bentancur in the midfield, are you actually scared of them?
The thing is, like, it's a question of, like I said, do I believe Spurs do well? Yes, I actually predicted them to finish 4th. I think they will finish in the top 4. I just don't get the overhype in regards to, and I'll let you get to that in a sec, Pete, in regards to what they can do beyond that. I think the very best Spurs can do is 3rd. I think the very best Arsenal can do is 4th. I also think the very best Manchester United can do is 4th. I think Chelsea will probably finish 3rd, and I think that's the best they can do as well. But all our 4 teams are pretty much in the same position, as in we're all cup teams this season. Chelsea will be looking at Champions League and the 2 domestic cups. Spurs will be looking at the 2 domestic cups. If they do drop down to the Europa League, they'll be targeting that. Arsenal will be looking at the Europa League and the 2 domestic cups. Manchester United will also be looking at the Europa League and the 2 domestic cups. So we're all in very, very similar boats. Obviously, Spurs, depending on what they do in Europe, well, in the Champions League, and we know how Conte struggles in the Champions League, so they may not even
everything that's not league football. Fuck Champions League. He's got 1 domestic cup in his entire pathetic career. Thank God Aiden Hazard got that bomb a domestic cup. Thank God. But no, Ray, you must be new here. I wrote off the league like before the end of last season. Am I okay with being a cup team in an ideal world? No, but geopolitics have never forced a takeover from your club in the middle of a season. There's some shit that comes with that, man. Chelsea got to rebuild. Chelsea got to get on track. It's going to take time. I'm under no illusion in the footballing pyramid where we fall. I don't think it'd be a complete shock if we won the UCL because we just did that with most of this team together, right?
You're sad to do it with the manager you have and the way you play.
Yes,
definitely. Like, I have you in the top 5 favorites for Champions League.
I'll say Thomas Tuchel is the best European manager we've ever had. Easy. I love Jose, but brother, give Tuchel those 2000s teams, put him in that UCL, we're getting one. We didn't get one with Jose. I love Jose. I'll always respect what he did with Europe. He didn't in Europe. He didn't do it with us though. Thomas Tuchel took a team that was in 9th and won the UCL. So you know what? I don't think that's shocking. But no, Ray, you must be new here. I don't think we're going to win the league. I say this pretty much every stream.
You do say this, but you know what? You know that he's new, which is good.
Where we are.
It's always good to see new people in the chat. Big up all the
shout out to anybody who's new. If you are new and you like the content, subscribe.
Yes, make sure you do.
Drop a like as well.
And to Ray, before you go, we got 1 second. I just wanted to get to this before you say what you want to say. To Pierre, he says you have to give this team a chance, man. Them can't go on like they don't look good right now. Chelsea fans hating too, but I think it comes from seeing their top 4 position under threat. I think the thing is, it's not a question of giving it a chance; it's assessing the team. That's what we all do. We all assess our own team.
It's been a threat for 5 years.
Yeah, and you assess your own team and you assess your ops and you go, all right, this is where I think we're finished. This is where we need to improve. This is where we're good. This is the incomings. This is the outgoing. So it's not a question of not giving them a chance. I just look at the teams and I've said this. I think the top 4 is the same as last year. I said this already. I couldn't be wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the top 4 is the same. With United, I call it as I see it. I've been saying this for the longest. I said I think the top 4 is the same. I think United will finish 5th, Arsenal will finish 6th. But if you lot finish above us, would it shock me? No, because obviously things can happen in terms of injuries, players, all that type of stuff. And the window's not closed yet. But the Premier League's a second priority for me. I've said this. Europa League is what I'm looking at. That's my main focus of this season. Go win that. But we move.
I will say this. Arsenal have a better chance of finishing 4th and Tottenham do of finishing 3rd. That is the way I see it. If Harry Kane makes it through an entire season with the World Cup smack in the middle and his ankle doesn't explode at least once, I will hold my hands up and say I'm wrong. But I also think we're going to see a large portion of the season with no Harry Kane. Because playing 1 game a week the latter half of last season, that worked out great for them. But if by some grace of God you do make it through the UCL group stage to the UCL knockout round, those are more fixtures. If you finish 3rd, you got to go into the playoff round of the Europa League. I think more of what we saw last season was not the rule. It was just a bit of weird circumstances, i.e. Spurs and Arsenal. Ideally, you're never going to be competing down the stretch of a league season with nothing else. That is a unique circumstance. I don't think that will happen. Whether it's Conference League, Europa League, Champions League, you guys usually have something, right? So from that perspective, hey, I got to see these squads balance these fixtures. I have to see people hold up in terms of fitness and performance. I got to see that. Yes, I think the ceiling on Chelsea's attack is lower than Arsenal's attack and Tottenham's. I think it is. I don't think our attackers are good. I've said this. I'd sell all of them. Bar Sterling, they can all go. I still think that way. But I don't think our issues up front are so dramatic that we cannot clinch Champions League football because we've played with mostly the same issues in the last 18 months and achieved Champions League football. That is the way I see it. No overly simplistic.
You have more issues this season because of the people who left your club, I think. That's more.
That's where you and I disagree, which is cool. I don't think the people that are leaving outside of Rudiger and Christensen are actual misses.
But have you replaced Rudiger and Christensen?
Well, Koulibaly's at the club. Chelsea are in talks with Leicester to potentially sign Wesley Fofana. They've indicated they want at least 2 more center backs and a wing back. So, if we just don't replace Christensen, will we be in deep shit? Yeah. But I don't think we're just going to not replace Christensen. Again, there was 4 weeks left in the window. It was 30 days, to be exact. But, I don't know. That's the way I see it. I don't think Azpilicueta and Alonso are much of a loss. I don't think they are. I don't think if we sell a Ruben Loftus-Cheek, it's a loss. We're not missing Werner's 4 Premier League goals. Southampton man is gone. No, I don't give a fuck. That's fine. He can go.
Sometimes you need
Lukaku didn't want to be here. I don't think we're going to miss it too much. Lukaku was injured for most of the fall, came back in the team, did his interview, played in the team for a long stretch, and got benched at the latter half of the season when we actually needed him. Most of the season we played without Lukaku anyways. We're missing, 8 Premier League goals? We'll be fine.
Yeah, and like you said, you got the Silky Germans. Big up to Safe as well, who says, I've been a member for 5 days. These guys are veterans compared to me. Now you're here, man. That's all that matters, isn't it? Whether you've been here 5 days or almost a year, which is like 13 months. As long as you're here, that's all that matters, people. In it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, share it across all socials, subscribe to the channel, road to 5K subscribers as well. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well before we close out the show. People, I didn't expect this to pop off as it is, but you know, Sarcasm City TV, man, king of late night sport content, man. That's us, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
So we
I'm
having
off
to be
work.
here.
I usually don't jump on, but I'm off work today, so I'm like,
yeah, man,
you know what? I seen Peter, and I wanted to speak to him about this. But Peter, you know one thing? We used to speak about Chelsea all the time, so maybe I would get more informed from some of you Chelsea fans. But from what I hear from Chelsea fans on social media nowadays, it's just all the doom and gloom. I don't generally hear anybody come with the rationales that you're coming with. So from my perspective, I'm kind of taken back by your approach to things and how you're just kind of taking a wait and see approach. And even if you're in a shaky situation at the beginning of the season, you're just going to think that Chelsea is not going to go into the January window and not address the issues that you have. Am I wrong?
I got to see it before with the clubs that beat us out. Like United, respectfully, that squad should not be finishing above us. I don't care if we're managed by a 5-year-old.
Okay, so is it safe for me to then say I need to see Raheem Sterling perform to a high level to say, you know what, your attack has actually improved? Or see actually your improvement in your attack?
I mean, sure, if you want to see it that way, that's fine. What I would push back is Raheem Sterling has performed to a high level at Liverpool and at Chelsea in this league that he's going into. He is less of an unknown quantity than Arsenal and Tottenham are relative to outperforming Chelsea this season.
Okay. Keep going.
Also, wouldn't you say, by that same logic, we'll see stuff could apply to every team, including yourself, with Koulibaly and Sterling? That's what I was saying.
I mean, yeah, but then I could say that to Jesus and Zinchenko, but I wouldn't because they're Premier League proven players. I myself acknowledge they do improve your team. I wouldn't say we haven't seen them kick ball yet, so we don't know. I think Darwin Núñez is going to score goals and help Liverpool. I'm not as down on him as most people are, right? If we were just going to say wait and see to everybody who's new, then we'd only have what previously happened to go off of. And obviously, different shit happens every year. So it's a bit of like a non-starting conversation.
So then wouldn't that then destroy your whole we'll wait and see with the negatives? Because if you can see some things are writing on the wall. I
mean, the reason, they're not even negatives really. The wait and see for me is I don't think the hype matches your current ability. Similarly to I'm not as down on my club as most of our fans pretend to be. I don't think a lot of our fans actually think we're shit. I just think they do it for attention on social media to talk about how shit we are. But deep down, we're not shit. We're not Liverpool and City, but we're not shit. We're somewhere in the middle, right? So for me, with Tottenham and Arsenal specifically, because I've been hearing similar things for a really long time now, it's, hey, I need to see it with your group before I'm going to put you above a group who has achieved the very thing you guys are dreaming of achieving. I need to see it. Like with Tottenham, with Conte. I saw him get a bunch of money and attack the UCL and a league campaign simultaneously while in this country. And I saw that team fall apart because that's my fucking team. I watched it every week. People don't like to speak about it. People don't like to acknowledge that we didn't have European football when we won the Premier League. People don't like to acknowledge these things. They don't like to acknowledge when the fixture list got congested, we suffered. And then they like to act like this Tottenham team are going to be amazing because Fraser Forster, Jed Spence, and Clement Longley play for them.
Yeah, and the guy that looks like Jez that he signed as well, him.
Yeah, they just signed some random black guy from the ends, and they think
the guy looks like Jez. Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't even
excuse me for being skeptical. Excuse me.
Spence is not bad.
But excuse me.
Just taking the best for it.
Jed Spence isn't bad, right? But think about the levels that people think about the levels that Tottenham are being discussed at. Yeah. The levels that Tottenham are being discussed at on the optimistic edge far exceed any sense of realism. Let's just be real. Let's look at this. This isn't the Tottenham. This isn't the young Spurs team under Poch that had all this talent, right? And this huge, tremendous upside. This isn't that team. It's not. Some of the players are still left over, but they're on sort of the wrong end of their primes now. You've got two titanic football clubs in front of them who are legitimately looking at the Premier League and Champions League like, yeah, we should be winning that. Right? Think about what you're up against. Think about where you are. So for Arsenal, I just got to see it, man. I've been hearing a lot of talking. I heard a lot of talking last year. We're going to finish third. We're going to finish above Chelsea. All that. Ooh, do that. I said, hey, if they do, I'll hold my hands up and admit I'm wrong. I could have turned when there was 3 games left and said congratulations to Arsenal and clapped on their victory laps after match day 35. I could have turned. I said, hey, I got to see it. Because with them, you never know. And we know what happened. So I can't just throw out what I just saw for a lot of this group of players and give them the benefit of the doubt now. That has worn out for me. In terms of challenging, I'm not going to give my team the benefit of the doubt because we haven't done it. Challenging for the title, I'm not going to say that. I'm writing us off on August 1st. We haven't kicked the ball yet. There's 3,440 Premier League minutes still to play. Guess what?
Jesus.
After 3,440, we're not going to fucking win. It is what it is, guys. Get over it.
Let me get to some of these comments. You done, fam? Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, cool. I will give my team the benefit of the doubt because I've seen it. If I haven't seen it with this group, I got to see it. Do I think Spurs are better than Arsenal is constructed? I guess, but like, would it shock me if Arsenal finished above them? Fuck no. I've seen Conte finish below Tottenham. Like, what are we doing here?
The thing is,
I've seen Conte let Tottenham come to Stamford Bridge and pull our pants down, man. Like, what are we doing? I don't have faith in him. I'm not saying Arsenal can't make it. I'm not saying Tottenham can't make it. I'm saying we're gonna make it. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I feel like? I feel like one of the North London clubs this year, they're gonna feel pain. I don't know who it is, but one of them is gonna feel pain just because maybe not winning the Europa League or make the top 4. I think either one of the North London teams, because like I think loads of even our fans, they're trying to downplay what Arsenal have done this summer and think just because we have Conte that like we are certainly going to come off them. Like I can't 100% sit here and say Arsenal are not going to finish above us this season, and we finish in the Europa League. But I can't 100% sit here yet because even though I think we have done signings that yes, for the top 4, competing for the top 4 for the 4th spot in there, it's good enough. But I can't sit here and actually feel like Arsenal haven't done anything this summer that makes me feel like there can't be a threat to us. Like they are definitely a threat for us. About people. So if you talk about how Arsenal can be a threat to us for the top 4 spots this year, how can I then see people say we should be aiming to be close to Liverpool and City this year? Like for me, it doesn't just make sense, and people just don't want to have honest conversations. That's why you don't see me on Spaces anymore. Like I'm just if you see me on Spaces, most of the time it's just
Jazz, you're too big time. Tell him what it is, man. Tell him it's too big. I'm saying you're too big time, man. I'm
tired of people just not gonna have the honest conversations instead of just trying to have like make things up and trying to brainwash people into thinking in reality that making the team think they are something that in reality they never are or never been since Poch, in my opinion. So it's like it's a process. For me, it's a process. And I hope for me, I want to see progression and win something this year. And hopefully get contact onto another year and just continue backing him and just really start building something long term. Obviously, he's not a long term manager, but who said we can't change it? But it's about commitment from the club, but also with him as well as the manager.
Yeah, fair enough. We're going to run through the final few questions before we close out as well. What if Ten Hag's priority is in the Europa League flawless and he sees top 4 as achievable? He should see top 4 as achievable. I'm not saying it isn't achievable because I don't believe Spurs and Arsenal are miles better than us to the point where we can't compete. I've said I think United should be in the race. We shouldn't be 11 points off Arsenal and however many points we was off Spurs that season. That gap should be closer. We should be involved in the race. But do I believe we fall short? Yes. And then it's going to come a time where you have to, go on.
Real quick.
Yeah,
cool. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Although I'm saying Kane's going to get injured. That's going to happen.
I believe so. We can see that happening. Yeah.
Let's just say, right, Gabriel Jesus is missing for a month. Mm-hmm. You've got 6 Premier League fixtures. Like, there's so many things that can happen across a season that we don't account for at the beginning because you don't assume, like, injuries, the timing of injuries matters, and that's down to pure luck. Like, I don't think United are so inferior that under, like, a perfect storm, they can't be right there on match day 34.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at it. Yeah, I don't think we're that much.
And we can write them off because it's fun and it's trendy and they're shit, right? And McTominay plays and he's bad, blah blah blah. But like,
relax, man, relax.
Let's be honest. Like, it could happen. Like, our team fell apart, Arsenal hit form, and we saw what the discussions were. You know, at the beginning of the season, not a single Arsenal fan said we're going to finish 4 points behind you. No one said that at the beginning of the season. It was, we're shit. I hate this. And then they caught wind. We died. And now look at the discussions we're having a year later. Like, there's going to be something's going to happen to somebody's team that we can't really predict. And then we're going to have to like reevaluate this discussion. You know, that's why I'm not saying there's no way Arsenal can finish fourth.
I can see that because, like you said, I don't think the only gap I see, the top two and the gap to everyone else, I think is big. That's the only astronomical gap I see. Other than that, when we're talking the big six, I don't see the gap like that.
The annoying thing is, guys, the gap from second to third is probably going to be bigger than the gap from 3 to 6.
Yeah,
that's the really annoying thing here.
Huh?
And like, if you like think about it, like you guys finished on 61 last year, we finished on 74. Second was at 92, so that was 13 from us to you, and 18 from us to Liverpool.
Okay.
So like, yeah, that's probably going to happen again. We're kind of like in the same boat. As much as I don't really want to be here, because I don't rate your football teams, we're here. It is what it is. Thank God we have the UCL to dream about.
Thank God we got a manager now that I can be like, all right, we got a manager. Cool. We can run this now. I can run some prop now. You know what I'm saying? The whole time I've been concentrating. I've just been on defense. Legit. Just defense, just dodging punches, no counter punches, nothing. I got something like, I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to the season. I've said this. I can't wait for the season to start. 100%. I can't wait for the season to start. Flawless, you really think that Chelsea is still a top 5 contender for the Champions League? Yeah, when you look at the teams. You got City, you got Liverpool. You got City, you got Liverpool, you got Real Madrid. Yeah, you got City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich you can throw in there. They're probably around there.
Can we though?
That's Bayern Munich without Lewandowski as well. But
yeah,
let's just say, argument's sake,
that's Bayern Munich with
you're 4 off to be your 4 or 5.
Man.
Yeah, you're 4 or 5 to me. That's what I would say. That's where I would have you.
I would say we're between 4 and 6 for favorites for the UCL. And as much as people want to put that, count the teams.
Who's the 6?
Want to put Barca in there? Cool, I guess. Want to put PSG in there? Maybe cool.
PSG new, they're new in it, so I'm looking at it like new manager. I don't know a lot about.
And again, like, do I really think Pochettino's managing, or Pochettino's not even managing them? Gaultier, maybe actually. PSG might be
know anything about him. I don't know anything about him. A big up Ray as well says, yeah, for sure, I'm new Flawless, but I know my ball, like what you're doing, my G, and big up the panel. Big up to you, man. Always good to see new people in the chat, new names, new faces, new opinions, all the regulars as well, man. And look, we piloted the first episode and he gal dropped in. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, look how this is Sarcasm City TV, people. You legit never know who is going to show up. It's like a Royal, for those that know wrestling, it's like a Royal Rumble. You don't know whose music's going to hit when the countdown hits 0 and it's going to come running down the ramp. Like, you never know.
I just been up late, man. You know, like, I see Peter saying some stuff like Arsenal, you have to wait and see, and I just wanted to jump on. Peter,
I don't think that's an outrageous statement, though. I've said outrageous things about Arsenal to be salacious.
No, I don't think it's ridiculous. But let me ask you this. How many players are Tottenham away from winning a league, and how many players are you away from
fucking 13 and Jesus Christ, dude. No
okay. Well, how many players are Chelsea away from winning a league?
At least, like, legitimately under this manager, like probably 6 or 7.
So what's a realistic answer for Tottenham then?
Oh, if I'm not trolling, probably like 10.
Okay, so what do you think for Arsenal then?
To win the league?
Yeah.
Again, probably like between like 6 and 8, I would say, because like you need.
So you think Arsenal have a better squad than Tottenham?
I think Arsenal are closer to challenging for a league title than Tottenham. I would say 6 to 8 and a new manager. Like you, like in terms of the tools, like the talent available outside of Kane, Son, and Kulusevski, I don't rate their team. They're gonna need a new keeper. Their back three is
respect Romero.
Their back three is white, so that's cool, I guess. Whatever. They got Jets.
I forgot you hate Argentines. I forgot.
Oh, I do. Yeah, they have an Argentinian in their back line, so no thanks. Not for me. Flawless' team does too.
Yeah, we do. Let's go. We back up. So to say you said our defense stinks. Now our defense is better. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, whatever. My point is, like,
I'm just point. Surface said it's ironic. United's defense stinks, and I said our defense is better. Hey, you got some old man Perisic doing up left wing back.
In terms of actual like players available, like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko have been in squads that have won Premier Leagues. I could see Saka getting bought by a Premier League challenging squad one day. Like that could happen. I could see him playing for Liverpool or like Chelsea if we get our shit together. Like I'm not gonna say he's not good enough. Not good enough right now, but he could be one day. Like I don't think there's a lot of potential in Tottenham's players, like upward mobility. I don't think there is. I think they have a lot of workman-like players and an amazing strike force. Not even an amazing front three. Richarlison he's the Paraguayan Brazilian man. Like he's 60 million quid, whatever. But like Arsenal's players actually do have like room to grow into. But like again, I don't think with the manager thing and just seeing how he handles certain points of seasons and like decisions he makes. And I think Arteta's preparation for matches is good. I think what lets him down is his in-game decisions. I think that stuff lets him down. I think trying to play reactive in that North London derby, granted you were missing a few players, I think that played right into Tottenham's hands. Yes, you can't really legislate Cedric pushing somebody in the back. I understand that. Sometimes things happen that you can't prepare for. But like Cedric. The mentality is like playing for a 0-0 when you're 5 points ahead with 3 games left. I don't think it's necessary because your final 2 games are Newcastle and Everton. You should be winning them anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like you might as well just go. If you win it, you're in the UCL and you have a moment, you know? It didn't seem like there was, if you were 3 points ahead or 4 points ahead, I understand kind of, or let's just say you were 3 points ahead. I understand being cautious. I get it. Because, hey, like you're trying to keep it tight, pause, take your draw and then take your 4 points and get into the Champions League, right? But like, it's just, again, like decision making, right? We see it with Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's great with how like squad morale and getting the team, like they play one way for the most part. You've got the minor tweak to 4-2-4 in game, but like Ancelotti said it. Out of the English teams, Real Madrid played in the UCL. Liverpool were the easiest to set up for because you know what they're going to do. You just can't really stop it. Most teams aren't really equipped to stop it, right? What you need, Pep, again, like he's very dogmatic. He's just such a fucking control freak and has such talent available that like it doesn't really fucking matter. They get more conservative against Liverpool because they know Liverpool is one of the few teams that can snuff them, you know. But like for the most part, like for Arteta, what he needs in an ideal scenario is tactical flexibility to the point where no matter what tools you're going to get in, Eagle, this is the thing that like Chelsea fans don't seem to get. We're not going to build a team that legitimately can kick pass for pass with Manchester City. We're not. We just aren't. As long as Pep is there, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to revert to effective terror ball at some point. And with Arteta, I'm yet to see that. Jurgen Klopp can do it. I respect the fuck out of it. He just does it against like random teams. So like fair enough. Like you'll see Palace have 51% possession at Selhurst Park against Liverpool, and you're like, why the fuck? But like Liverpool wins 4-1, so who cares? You know, like that part, the ability to switch back and forth, Arteta's going to need that because you're never going to have the tools that Pep has at City. You're never going to have the tools that Klopp has at Liverpool. You're never going to have that continuity relative to him. So that's what I don't see with him. I don't think he will get it at a job like Arsenal. I think his second or third job he'll be really good at. But you got to learn. You got to take your lumps. It's a good learning experience for him. I said a few years ago, I think in the grand scheme of things, the job is too big for him. I don't think that's his fault. I still kind of believe that if you perform the way people think you are going to, like on the optimistic side, then yeah, I'll change my mind. I'll drop that opinion. I'll revise it, you know? But I got to see it. I just think he's so new to this. Yes, he's had continuity there. Yes, that's his hand-picked group. I just got to see it, man. I'll flip once I see it, but I got to see it first. With Tottenham, I just don't think their team is good. We beat them with Malang Sarr and Marcus Alonso and Kepa in goal. Yeah, none of those players are playing for my club next year.
I hate to say it, but I do agree with Peter. Like, it's really truly like if Conte isn't here, who actually rates our team like I don't know for free.
I don't rate your team and Conte is here.
He does not, but I get what Jez is saying.
Yeah. Like no one would. If Antonio Conte wasn't your manager, no one would like have this blind faith in guys like Eric Dyer, Christian Romero, Ben Davies, and Hoybier.
See, Christian Romero is like different. Like I think he is a good defender in it. I can trust him in a different manager system, even without the Conte, for example. Like, I would trust him in Tuchel's system, a club system, all that. But like I said, it's for me. It's like it's the overall squad in terms of just quality, improve. Just even players that I can look at and say, in a couple of years they can improve. Like I think there's just so many things in the squad that needs to be improved on, which like people fail to see because like they have Conte as the manager. But I feel like this team can easily be exposed this season, and it's like I said, it's about honest conversations, isn't it? And I'm always here for the honest conversations. Certain
True.
people don't want to have it with me because they feel like I'm trying to downplay what we are or trying to make excuses. I'm not making excuses. This is what I honestly just feel like. Because I'm looking at this team like, let's say if Conte doesn't stay next season, I'm looking at this team and I'm like, yo, we could be potentially fucked. Because like we're gonna have Perisic for on like 1 year left. Um, I don't know who the next manager is gonna be. Is he gonna continue playing the back three? Do we then need to rebuild this team? How's Harry Kane
You
feeling?
see,
If a
I don't hear
Tottenham
this
gets
side of
club?
things always.
Hmm?
I don't tend to hear
Bro,
this
it's
side.
Because
you
you
got
know you be in Twitter
because
spaces. That's why
this is the
you
issue.
got Twitter Spaces are not the space for
No, but it's
honesty.
not even Twitter Spaces.
it
I'm on
is.
YouTube with Tottenham fans all the time, and all they're telling
Yeah,
me is
but
What
this is
you
what
wait?
the
What
thing.
YouTube channels you want to go?
bro, it doesn't matter. I could be on the
Nah, it
terrace.
does matter because you're in the wrong places, man. Shout out to
The
the
thing,
terrace. But
because for
I've been on the
example, like
terrace. You know what you're getting with the terrace. I'm saying,
Yeah,
you
man.
know who you're getting with this.
Sometimes,
for
That's the
example,
sometimes
gal.
this
You
is
know
this
who
is a
you're
good
getting with.
I get it.
this is a good
You got LA
example.
United.
Yeah, like
Tourist,
this is a
I'm
good
shitting on
example.
all
Like
your thoughts. I'm saying we're the
this,
best.
for
I'm saying
example, this is a good example.
do I believe that?
What's
No.
my we were playing obviously. Everybody obviously in the chat go to the Twitch because we play pro clubs over there as well, and also on YouTube sometimes as well. Obviously, we were on pro clubs. During the time when we were still searching the game, we were discussing Tottenham in the field just for a little second. And when I said, "Oh, the squad isn't too well," once told me that, or tell me about
Yeah.
certain players I don't rate, tell me that other Spurs fans he doesn't heard of from other one he doesn't heard what I say about them, but said that oh they're great and all that. But then I asked him specifically which Spurs fan, for example, that you heard that from, and he said to me Patrick. And I respect Patrick; he's a cool guy.
Shout out Patrick.
But I disagree with a lot of his statement about our squad. I think our squad is not as good as people think it is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think even the additions, I think the business that we have done this summer is good, but it's nowhere near enough, in my opinion, to for me at least feel like we can at least solidify top 4 even this year. I think Chelsea, for example, have done enough business so far. They have solidified top 4 this year, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to drop out.
That
We
was good.
we as of now, I believe we can top out all the top 4 personally, because I don't think it's good enough in my opinion to make sure that yeah, we consistently going to be well. And it's if Kane goes down, it's like that's the biggest issue I have. Do I think Richarlison can come and do a good job? Yes, but not at the level of a Harry Kane. The fact that Harry Kane is our best playmaker is a big. Harry Kane is our striker and is our best playmaker. Stupid. Like it's so many things in this team that is wrong. But like for long term, this team is not going anywhere near. But we're trying to do things in a short term way and trying to achieve many things in the short term. But for me, this team needs a project. This team needs to get rid of a lot of players. This team needs to add players with potential, and also the players that are great but that can go up a level with a manager like Conte. Like we have players that are average, they just competent enough with a manager like Conte. But I need players that can go up a level that I can know like confident. Like you look at them and say, yeah, this has some good players. I can't take a team serious with Ben Davis and Eric Dyer in the back. I just can't, bro. And fucking Emerson Royal, Doherty in the back, in the Sprite Greenwood, and Ben Tuchel or Hoiberg in midfield. I just can't do it. Just can't. And then the squad depth as well. Like again, like it's questionable. Questionable. It's like people are not convinced about. I think the squad that we have signed, this would have been nice if we had a good start in the level. The issue is we don't. So this is like so many things wrong with this team right now. Where like I wouldn't be surprised if we don't achieve the targets that I put on this team. But in the same time, if you do the targets, then I have to give Conte credit because I don't think this team is that good as people think it.
No,
Or even
I was-
Spurs fans as well. Like
So
I was gonna
I
make
read
a
this
point as well,
out.
but I forgot. But I let you get to it. I was gonna make a point about something. It's completely lost my mind. But last point,
All right,
and then
so
we're gonna cut. But yeah, go on,
comment
Peter.
says Chelsea guy chatting breeze about Spurs. All right, so we played them in the Carabao Cup in January, right? It was AFCON. All kinds of shit was happening. We had a bunch of COVID. All
Don't
kinds of
remember me. Don't remember me on that shit.
all
That was
right, let me read you guys our team. We played a 4-2-2 apparently, which I don't think we did, but whatever. Kepa in goal. Azpilicueta at right back. Center back pairing of Malang Sarr and Antonio Rudiger. Marcus Alonso. Saul, Jorginho. Hakim Ziyech. Mason Mount. Romelu Lukaku. Kai Havertz. That was our 11. Let me read you Tottenham's 11. Hugo Lloris in goal. Tanganga at right center back. Davinson Sanchez in the middle of a back three. Ben Davies. Doherty. Højbjerg and Skip. Emerson Royale. Lucas Moura. Harry Kane and Son Heung-min. So outside of Eric Dyer, Christian Romero, and Kulusevski, and I guess if you want to say Betancourt, but I don't know if him and Kulusevski are at the club yet. Outside of those players, that was like mostly their strongest team. That was most of their strongest team. Again, Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Sarr, Alonso, Kepa, Saul, Jorginho, Ziyech, Mount, Lukaku, and Havertz. Out of those 11 players, only 3 of those players will be playing minutes for Chelsea Football Club next season. Jorginho, Mount, and Havertz. And if it were up to me, it would be only 2, Jorginho and Mount. Right? We had a rotated team, and we beat the shit out of them 3 times in a month. And so excuse me for not rating their team. Excuse me. I gotta see. Excuse me for not rating their team.
And let me get to this. Ahmed, Peter put up that comment. I did not put up the comment. So why
I
are you
put up
trying
that
to
comment.
instigate? Yeah, just because he's trying to say I'm instigating. So I'm just letting Ahmed know. Ahmed, you're instigating because Peter put up that comment. So yeah, Ahmed,
Yeah, I
did.
did.
You know what I'm saying? I hold that. You know, so
Yeah, I'm sorry. If Malang Sarr keeps 3 clean sheets against you, you're not a good football team.
Hey, Floss, what are you doing here?
Yeah, man, this is the last point we want to get to. So he says the real question is during the World Cup, is Jess going to be? Is he going to be Ghanaian or German? Talk to us, Jess.
It depends on the circumstances.
Facts, man.
If
Ghana lose to Uruguay, Jess is Ghanaian.
If you don't lose to Uruguay, you don't see me with the Ghanaian flag for at least a year.
All right, we closing out the show anyway. It has been a longer show than scheduled, but this is Sarcasm City TV. Like I said, king of late night sporting content. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Peter. Shout out to Jez. You will get this show every other Monday, fortnightly. Mandem United podcast meets the Ballers at the Bridge podcast meets Talking That Tottenham Talk podcast, where we'll be discussing all things United, Chelsea, and Spurs. But then you never know who's going to drop in. Like I said, the gal is here as well. So a gal, big up for jumping on. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to promote before we end the show?
I think you're going to be doing this also, but All or Nothing Arsenal is coming out soon, so I'm going to be doing reaction videos to that. Plus, I have
live stream
vibes from the 6th, and I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on my channel EGTV. So just check it out, guys.
Okay.
Watch the space.
Go subscribe EGTV. And you said there the Arsenal all or nothing doc. Are you doing a live stream reaction, or are you just recording one and then putting it out?
What you think I should? You think I should do a live stream reaction as I'm watching it and then cut it up and repost it?
Yeah, 100%. That people want to see your live reaction. They don't want to see how you feel afterwards. We want to see both, man. People want to see in real time. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that would be too long. That would be like me watching for hours.
Cut it up into 2 parts, fam. Give the people the content, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, give the people.
So wait. You guys think I should do live watching reactions?
I don't care what you do.
I think so, yeah. Because you know, the thing is, do you get tips?
I'm instigating. I don't really care. Whatever you want, whatever you got time for, man.
Because I was thinking I was going to do what Expressions did, where he watched the episode and then afterwards he just gave his thoughts on the episode.
Oh, that's a shout too. I'm just giving you
can do that as well too.
Yeah, man. If you
got whatever you got time for, realistically, like you work, like you're married, like you don't have time to sit there for hours. You can. It'd probably be funny, but if you want to kind of just sit there and give your honest thoughts in 10 to 12 minutes after each episode, then do it.
That's calm.
Yeah, because I was thinking do 1 video per episode instead of doing like I'm gonna sit down and watch 3 episodes, bang, 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 one after another. But I'm gonna do a video after each episode.
Do your thing.
Okay.
All right, calm. That's live. Sounds good. All right, well, large up to Igal. Make sure you subscribe to EGTV. Big up Surfer as well for the super chat. And he says, let's face it, he's going to be Argentinian. Right, he's just switching to Argentina.
Yes, for real.
Is that you, Jez?
That's never gonna happen. Like, I can't roll with them. I can't. You will probably see me as like Bolivian or some shit.
I said Bolivian, you know. I said not even Brazilian. Like you've just signed one and you didn't pick Brazil anyway. Jez, anything else you want to add?
Bolivian. Shout out to everyone. Also subscribe to you guys' channel, EGTV. Go to the Twitch. Just make sure you follow Sarcasm City. Watch out the content. Also, because fun calling is going to be on there as well during the season after after like game days and that. So yeah, just make sure you just subscribe to the Mondays and that, and also just stream as well if you haven't.
Check Jez out with the beautiful promotion and that. Shout out Jez. You know what I'm saying? Love that, Jez. Yo, Peter, anything else you want to add?
All right, man. Subscribe to all the socials. If anybody is new here, thank you guys for tapping in. You guys, stay with us. Subscribe. We go live damn near every day.
Every day.
We'll be back in a few weeks, guys. August 15th, I think. Maybe slightly earlier in the evening. Someone's team will 100% have taken an L by then because that's the weekend after we play Jez's team. So, yeah. Show up.
All I'm saying after all the shit I said, if you lose, I'm not turning up. Just not.
This guy, you think we ain't gonna see you 2 weeks afterwards? Wait, what do you mean? Do you think we ain't just gonna see you the 2 weeks after that? You gonna get these beaten? You know what I'm saying?
Just meaning I don't show up to the channel anyway.
This guy, you better show up. The amount of beatings I've took here, and it's my own fucking channel. So yeah, you better show up. You know what I'm saying? This guy.
you're the host, so yeah.
But I'll have to show up. You know what I'm saying? I could be like, you know what, no shows this week. Fuck it, United lost. You know what I'm saying? But here we are.
That's petty.
Well, it's petty when I do it. But yeah, love to everyone who's locked in.
Yes.
Like Peter said, we'll be back here. It's every other Monday, people. You get this fortnightly, like I say, Manchester United. Ballers at the Bridge, talking that Tottenham talk. We're back. I was going to say tomorrow. Back today, people. Manchester United podcast. So I'll be back with Ivorian, talking all things Manchester United, Ronaldo, De Jong. Obviously, looking ahead to the first game of the season against Brighton as well. That'll be 5:30 p.m. UK time here on the YouTube. And then, well, you're getting after that fan calling show, people. You'll get a fan calling show tomorrow on the Twitch. So for those that are asking about calling in, fan calling show tomorrow, people, on the Twitch, midnight. Be midnight. So that's open. And you can call in and talk about whatever you want. And like Jess said, we're going to keep them going throughout the season. So you keep them going throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? But love to everyone that's locked in. And this has been the Manchester United podcast meets the Ballers at the Bridge podcast meets talking that Tottenham talk live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.